Oh,
Demonetized.
what's
Or are we
going
live?
on?
My
Stupid.
bad.
We
We did a double
are
countdown.
live, double countdown. What's going on, you guys? And welcome to another week of the Shattered Throne, episode 22. Man, I say this every week because it's still in awe that I'm like, how are we still going, and how is it still going? Um, but thank you guys. Thank you guys for so much for being along on this journey, man. It's fun and exciting. I'm hoping you guys have as good of a time as I do. But before we get crazy and started into this, go ahead and introduce your guys' selves and see where we go from there.
Hi, I'm Mojo, and I play Shonen Gold, a young human barbarian man.
My name is Fritos. I play Raven Falcor, the half-elf druid bartender.
And I am Tech Stallion, and I'll be playing Tydox, the gnome artificer.
Or
Jared.
Slam it down on a piece of sandwich. You'd love to see it.
It's a
With that
Euro.
leftover Taco Bell, you're just really slumming it, or
it's so
dropping
good.
shit. You just lost it.
He's like, I'm I'm munching in the mic. I love it. I love it. I love it because tonight we may or may not get to see any more of these wonderful, amazing guests because tonight is going to be so much fun. And I just said to them beforehand, my name's Matt, and they may or may not hate me afterwards. Who knows what happened? And we had an epic and amazing kind of standoff as the library began to collapse, and the our group began to try to figure out how to piece it back together, how to stop it from collapsing all at once. There was a plethora of different things that were happening as they remembered some spider silk, as they used as rope. They stabilized the crystal just enough to give them an extra couple minutes. We split the party in a lot of ways because that's the best thing to do in D&D when you can't figure out something. You say, all right, hey, let's split up. That's a joke for anybody who's run a session. It's extremely difficult, but it was awesome how we did it last time. And then the party kind of got a bunch of different things as they learned. Um, they saw some mycelium workers stealing different books and different things, magical items within this library, and they were running through a portal um, that seemingly led back to mycelium. As the gang tried to figure out kind of how they were going to get through everything, they saved a old librarian, and she was an owlin, and she carried pretty much everybody on the bottom. Jared, Tydox, and Raven, after being saved into the other side of the portals, everyone had gathered back as the tower collapsed into nothingness. Just before then, yeah, like I said, it was falling out. And then afterwards, they got into where they were storing all of these artifacts and knowledge. And our gang discovered a lot of really interesting lore bits. Whether they remember them or not, that's great. But they wrote them down, so hopefully they got them. And there's a lot of really fun things that they learned. The most important thing is they said, hey, we don't want to keep this knowledge from just getting to anybody. Let's set this place on fire. And they walked out as a little distraction and caught this room on fire as they were led um, to
That's how we
the
do.
throne room. As they snuck over, led into the throne room, and they see perched the throne what appears to be the king and queen of this land, Rye and ready, as they discovered that he is immortal. And this is where we find our group and our gang at the feet of the throne room. Sitting atop is two people um, that are sitting on the thrones themselves. A person sitting in the middle, she's kind of just standing there hovering over something, kind of hunched down. And then you see a fourth guy cladded in a suit of um, bronze and gold armor. Um, and so you see those four people kind of in front of you. You guys were led in front. I don't remember the guy's name because I think one of you guys named him, and I just went okay with it. But the grunt, the brute that was with you guys, been the corporal. We're gonna call him Dave because I really don't remember.
Wasn't it Jerry?
I don't think we named him. We just named
No.
the owlbear
Susie.
Susan.
Susan
Yeah.
was the owlbear, which is not her name, but Susan works.
Yeah, it is.
I remember that.
I don't know if we.
I don't think we named the brute, so we're gonna call him Dave. Okay, just Dave. He's a lowly henchman in this mycelium army. Roger. Okay, yeah.
Roger.
Roger. We're gonna name him Roger. Roger slowly has led you guys into this room. Two of you have looked up and had seen face to face what looks like the king of Mycelium sitting upon the throne as something was eager to kind of tap into. The rest of you guys have been looking down at the floor. The other thing that you guys had noticed that last time was hanging at the top part of this room is giant silver wings in the shape of a dragon. And on the feet of the prince looks to be some magic boots.
Did you say feet?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a good episode.
Nothing more. Nothing more, Your Honor.
I'm locked in.
Locked in.
Red-headed vampire ladies, feet. And we got it. Everybody. We got something for everybody.
Ticking all the boxes.
Day old
Check
Taco
them out.
Bell.
Yeah.
Done.
Yo, it just opened up. It's peak, dude.
Just opened. Just opened the day old Taco Bell.
They did.
Kept the seal. Dope.
I mean,
Okay. So now we're here, right? That's our intro, and we're
We're in here. Well, what's the plan? Do we
Well,
have a plan?
no.
did we
So
have
we-
one?
Did
Joe, what were you
we?
saying?
Did we passed the check, right? Because it was we had a saving throw at the end, so we're
Yep.
fine.
Yep. So you guys are. That's why I said you feel something has like hit you, but
Mhm.
you were immune to whatever it was. You're not sure what it was, but you were aware that some sort of magic or something of that nature that just by staring at this person has caused you to make this feeling, or has given you this feeling.
Um,
And it's Show and Ert who are both staring at this.
Yeah.
Show.
Tydox is still just fixed on the back of Show. I'm just looking at my captain, waiting for something to hit the fan, I guess.
Show has the skull of Mimir in his right hand, and he drops to his left knee down, so he's kind of like in the proposal stance is the best way you say it, doing his fealty, and he puts the skull of Mimir is at his chest, and he is looking at him, but he doesn't say anything, but he is bowing down essentially to him.
When Show bows, Tydox bows behind as well. I don't have skull, but
Yeah. Anybody else bow down, or is it just you guys?
Jared also bows. If he knows one thing about nobles, they love their manners. Please and thank yous.
Raven trusts his captains. He's
Yeah.
gonna bow. As well.
Tydox also like opened the visor too, so he's like not his head showing. You can see that his face is now like down to the ground.
Band too. Okay. You as well? Is that what you said?
Cap Mert's showing his respect, but he's still like locking eyes with like Cap Mert's like kind of like leaning his head down, not like a full-on bow, but like showing respect. But he's kind of pissed that he sees his wings right behind, so he's like, he's got that
Yeah.
scowl.
Well, your wings are actually right in front of you. So they're like right above you.
Some silver wings, allegedly, maybe right in front of
Allegedly.
You would know that they're definitely yours. You feel some sort of kinship between them, and they almost feel as if they're calling to you as you are like bowing your head. You can almost hear them like cry out for you. Those who speak Draconic actually would hear that as well. Show and Tydox. The king, presumably, looks at you and yes, finally, I smelled some rats in here. Are you the ones who set ablaze my lovely library?
Yeah. Yes, we are actually, in fact, the ones who did. We're a bit klutzy, you know. Asilium, they didn't teach us too good.
Ooh. Asilium, you say?
Or Elysium, excuse me.
Elysium. Elysium. I knew you weren't from here, but it's good to know that my enemy has now become more my enemy as you burn my storage. What is your plan?
What's our plan? Oh, we just accidentally knocked over a lamp, and that's actually why we were rushing over here, was to warn you that we had made a bit of a mess.
A lamp, you say? Go ahead and roll me a deception.
Wait.
I think beforehand you had said in Bowling Bond, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, but I don't remember who you had.
I want to see if I wrote it down. I almost guarantee you it was Show, probably Raven, and I don't think it was
quite
Ert.
positive that I had it.
You can say Show, Raven, and one other person if you want.
I'll actually say Jared this time.
Okay, so
I
Joe,
don't have.
Joe, Jared, and Raven all have Emboldened Bond. So within 30 feet, you're absolutely. What was your deception roll?
13 plus 3 plus 0, so 16 total.
A lamp, you say? I've told those guards to keep fire away from old things. And he looks at Roger, who's like sweating, and he's like kneeling down. He prostrates himself even further down. My lord, I'm so sorry. It's clumsily. And as he's like down, you can clock and definitely feel that he knows that you lied about how you had done it, because obviously he saw what happened, and that him getting blamed for this, he knows he can't argue at all, right? And so he looks. You can tell just by his actions as he's like looking down. He's looking and giving you like a big scold, and then, Roger, are you to blame here? No, sir. I was. And then he starts to try to blame somebody else, and then you see Viken instantly disintegrate him. You see that his dust just straight into the ground. Tisk, I did like that one. So, aside from setting my library and all the hard work that I spent as we sent all those damn dwarfs up to Andral to get these things, why have you come to disturb my peace?
Well, as insolent as may it sound, but you actually disturbed some of our peace, if you would believe it or not. So, it's kind of we're on equal footing here, don't you think?
Your peace? What makes you say that?
Well, what do you know about assassinations, maybe?
Hmm. Well, quite a bit actually. And then you see him like smile in the Cheshire. Next to him, what is presumably the queen. She's like, "Oh, honey, are you just letting this filth talk?" Um, just and then you see him kind of clock her, and she like hushes again, basically like only spoke when spoken to, basically, as he looks at her, and then looks back at you and goes, "Now, dear, I'm interested. What do you want to know about assassinations? Do you want to know the art, the execution, the fun in it? What shall I grant your request?"
Oh, I'm sure you have plenty of fun, and I'm sure you're quite talented at it. But, I've heard some dark rumors maybe that maybe Elysium's not as up to shape as it used to be. You know anything about that?
Well, those damned rats in Elysium, I know. Their king, he spits on the ground, um, does everything he can to fault me at my claims. King Leonard, is it? I heard he's coming up in age, is he?
Mm, yeah, you could say that.
Do you know something that I don't? Care to play a game?
Sure, let's play a game. I love games.
Ah, me too. A truth for a truth. You tell me something and I'll tell you something. And we keep going back and forth until I catch one of you in a lie.
Sounds great to me. Do you mind if I add a little something to it though? You're being very gracious playing with us, but maybe a coin toss to decide who goes first.
Ha ha! A man of chance, I see.
I love a
Interesting.
gamble.
Okay, fine by me. Heads I win, tails you lose.
Tails I lose. Wow. That seems like you got 100% chance.
Ah, but you didn't know. And he pulls out, it's a coin, but in the air, it looks like it has three different sides. So it's two heads, and then a tails. And then sorry, it's a head, a tails, and then there's a third thing um, that goes in there. And so he points this what looks like a coin that he flips, and you see that there's three options. So basically, he has a higher chance to succeed. Sound
Oh.
fair? And he like flips it through his fingers that you can definitely see that it has three sides.
Well, fair's not what I would describe it, but I'm in.
You know the house always wins. I can't have it too lucky. And then he says, "You call it." Does that sound good?
So like the third side, or I guess because I thought you said that, or
Yeah. So you would call basically like you would have the third side, but he's just gonna like throw it up in the air basically.
okay, sounds good.
You could roll actually. So it's a D6. 1 and 2 is heads. 3 and 4 is the middle option, and 5 and 6 is tails.
It's a 5.
Okay, so you go first.
I get to ask first.
Yeah, you get to tell him a truth. That's the question. That's the thing is you tell him something that's true, or you can lie. Is basically the game, and
Oh,
he
okay.
has to catch you on a lie.
Okay.
So it's like basically like two. Imagine
Uh-huh.
two truths and a lie. It's that kind of style where you say something that's true either about
Okay.
you, the party, or anything, and then we'll roll for it.
Show tosses Mimmer's skull up in the air and catches it, and he says, I've been to the Lost Temple of Mimir, and I had quite a fortunate time there.
You don't say.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you, it's basically going to be chances of like rolls of persuasion and or deception.
Okay.
So you got to persuade him for him to believe you. If you're going to tell a lie, it's deception basically.
Okay.
And then he's going to roll insight whether he believes you or not. Okay.
So I'm rolling a persuasion right now then, right?
Yep.
Sorry, my like. Does anybody have my character sheet up? My like Google Chrome
Mhm.
just crashed.
You have 2 + 2s.
Okay. This is so only 11 plus 2 for 13.
Sweet. He rolled a natural 20, so he
You-
still believes you, but he sees because you told him the truth.
Mhm.
You pass, and so he smiles, knowing through. He sees. He says, "It appears you tell the truth. Interesting. I thought that was gone for ages." And then he stops and ponders for a second, and then he says, "It's unfair if I just tell you a truth. What questions do you have?"
You seem like a pretty knowledgeable man. And it seems like you've been alive for a while, if you catch my drift. So I have to wonder if you know anything about these how would you say relics that people are looking for. It seemed pretty popular, you know.
I'm not sure what you mean, but my suspicions have told me that magic in this area seems to be a delight. Have you tasted the weave? Harnessed on it?
No, but I've seen people who have.
The weave brings extraordinary power. More than you could ever know. And you just see him smile. And then you can roll an insight whether to see if he's lying or telling the truth.
Your insight is -2.
I got a 0.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Whether he's telling the truth or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's back to your turn.
Can somebody else roll?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ooh.
The game is played
Right.
amongst all of
So-
you guys. So anybody who has something to true to say, and he's going to start asking questions here in a bit. But if the game continues, he's going to start hounding you guys. But
Okay. Who's got a decent insight? Maybe the guy that I gave a skill to.
Raven can. Raven can.
I got +5 on my insight.
Yeah.
So really, what you guys are rolling right now, though, is persuasion or
Deception.
deception.
Gotcha.
And then you can roll an insight to see if he's lying. He's rolling an insight to tell if you're lying. So the game, right, is to outwit him. Basically, is the goal. Is to tell basically a lie that he believes is true. And the fancier the story, the better he is engaged in the conversation.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a group insight. He's like talking with Show, so we wouldn't be able to gauge to see if he's lying.
He's talking to like the whole group.
Okay.
Yeah. So any one of you guys, just one of you guys, can roll for an insight when he talks. You just have to say who wants to roll to see if he's telling the truth or not.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be
And
our
then anybody-
insider.
Anybody can
Yeah,
ask.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm totally cool with that. And anybody can ask either a question or tell the truth or a lie, whatever they want to do. So
Okay.
that means anybody who wants to roll a charisma or a sorry persuasion or a deception. So like you're persuading him that what you said is true, right? And then he's going to roll an insight to see if that's true. If it's true, great. If it's a deception, he's gonna and he's gonna still roll an insight. If you lie to him and you get it wrong, like he sees through the lie, right? Bad things could happen. But if he sees, if he doesn't see through the lie, he believes that what your lie was true, then you have outwitted him. Basically, is how the game works.
Okay.
And just know, as you guys are talking, every word that you say, every word that he says is all calculated. You can definitely feel that in the air that there's definitely more going on.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Jared and I also have. We both have +5 for perception and insight.
Persuasion.
Plus emboldening bond.
Or yeah,
Well, I do.
No, not yeah. For persuasion, I don't. Sorry, I mixed them up.
Yeah, persuasion and deception
Dyslexia.
are the rules.
I am.
You said you had something. You have a truth or a lie.
Oh fuck me.
He has really good.
I
persuasion.
have. I do have really good persuasion.
Talk
Just
about
the
them
smile.
wing boys.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I have
amazing.
magically opened 2 doors with the touch of my sword that were locked behind impossible odds. But with my Midas's touch, Captain Urt has managed to save the day.
Oh, interesting. Roll a persuasion because I believe that's true.
Not anymore. I got an 8.
8. Was it a true or was it a lie? I'm pretty sure
That
you
was
opened
true.
2 doors. Yeah. He sees through it and he has an 11, so he believes you and sees that it's a truth. He says, 2 whole doors with your magic. How peculiar. All right. I believe you. And then now he waits for another question.
Good question.
Yeah, I have a question. How did you manage to get those wings up there? Those are awful majestic looking. Are those
Oh.
dragons?
Yes, of course, you've taken a notice. Well, I found them. High in the sky to a place that no longer needed them. I acquired them. And then you can roll whether he's.
I'll have Raven or Jared roll.
I just rolled a.
Yeah, good.
Do
Is
math.
this something you can use the emboldening bond on?
Mhm.
'Cause it says ability checks, right?
Yep, these are all ability checks. Everyone.
Okay. So yeah, it's a D4, guys.
13.
With a 13, you know that he's lying. But about which part is a little unclear. He obviously has these wings, but how he acquired them, was it from a place that no longer needed them? You're not sure, but you can tell that he is lying about something in there.
Would I be able to whisper to show without, I guess, drawing too much suspicion or something?
How would you do that?
I basically would want to like lean towards his ear and tell him like something seems off about that answer. I'm not sure what, but Seems
Yeah.
a little deceptive.
He rolled really low on his deception, I'll tell you that.
Hmm. Uh. So now it's our time for a truth or a lie.
Or you can call him out on his lie.
Hmm.
Well, when you get, I mean, when you're as old as you are, I guess things get maybe the memory goes a little bit, huh? Things start to run together. Seems like maybe that one got a little wishy-washy there, huh?
Interesting phrase. Yes, quite apparent. More wittier than I thought you would be. My turn for a question. You, and he points directly at Raven, who he sees whisper. And he says, "What makes you bleed?"
Whew, what makes me bleed? Well, I've been in plenty of bar fights. That's definitely probably where I bled the most is back home at the pub.
Physical. Okay. He was looking for more, like what gets you out of bed, basically. But in his line, so you give him a physical, and so he ponders it for a second, and you can roll a persuasion if you want, because I mean it's literally true about you that you get you right to a thing. But what he was asking was more, and so you've stumped him in a different way.
22.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah, he's fully perplexed. He assumes now that bar fights are like what drives you in life. And so he's like, he looks as odd. All while this is going on, we'll continue to go in the game. There is a person who's like been hunched over this whole time. You guys start to notice that blood has like you're like up on an elevated like path, so it's like little stairs that go up. You notice that blood has now begun to like drip down. Um, it's very clear. Um, and whatever this person who's hunched over has been doing is vile, basically. Um, and so, him perplexed by this, he's like, well, okay, then. I guess that's one way to make a living. I like this game.
While all this is happening, is there any chance that I can like stealth do a spell?
Interesting. You can certainly try. What spell are you trying to do?
I
And then
want
look to see if it
to.
has a V or an S attached to it.
I wanted to try and make some holy water, which is a VS and M.
Okay. You can certainly try it. I will say that. It doesn't limit your ability to do that. But the V means voice, S means somatic, so it's some sort of hand component, M means material.
You can just ask me. I use holy water for everything.
I assume Jared also would use holy water for most things.
Yeah, but it takes like an hour to prep.
If only we had had the time. So
Well, if I knew there were
guys-
vampires, I
what if we-
maybe would have done it.
what if you bluff? What if Raven proposes a toast to this game or something? And
I've
gets
got some in my inventory.
What?
He carries.
I-
Yeah, he carries.
I
holy
carry
water.
it with me. I need it for my spells.
I forgot. I forgot.
I think Jared would probably also have holy water. To be fair, to you, Jared, I don't want to just like give you,
Game your character.
holy water. Yeah, I don't want to metagame your kid. I would assume that your character would have holy water on him already.
Okay.
Um, to be honest, I would assume that he actually like uses holy water to like cleanse his body like often. Just
Drinks it all the time.
from what I
He's
know
like,
of
regular
Jared.
water's not good
Only
enough to
the
clean
best,
himself.
like,
Yeah, That is
Yeah.
really how I would think of it, but
From the highest mountain in Elysium. The freshest spring water.
so he again waits for whatever's next. Another question, or if you guys have a question or anything.
Can somebody remind me? So, like, the crystal ball is on the sword, and the who has the sword? Is the crystal ball blinking like crazy right now?
Well,
I know it is, but
Oh.
like,
The crystal ball doesn't
it's
work anymore.
it's the sword.
So, but the magic is now
Sword,
put
mhm.
into the sword.
Yeah.
That is on Ert. Has he drawn the sword to see it? I don't know. I'm assuming that it is sheathed. Um, but even from the sheath, you would see it like glow and not very fast. It would appear that whatever magic item that you were looking for is in this room. That's how like quickly and fast that it is going. Whether it's the wings or something else, who knows? But
I'm just gonna cut to the chase then, I think. Have you attempted an assassination attempt on the King of Elysium within the last year?
within the last year, he starts to do his like counting on his fingers. He says, "Well, roughly 6 months ago, I sent assassins in. And they were no avail. Some commanders of Nor took them out. Bastard. And then, well, we haven't tried anything lately. Is there something I should know?" As he like leans in, still playing the game, but he
Can I
leans
get an
in.
insight roll first
Yep.
before?
Yeah.
Jared, I think you should do this one.
I thought insight. How did I forget where insight is? Perception.
Insight is its own
Insight.
role. It's a wisdom.
Insight is insight.
Insight's insight.
You have a +5.
There it is. There it is.
Plus
Found it.
your D4.
It's the same. It's the same modifier.
Hell yeah, but it's gonna be different.
17.
Oh,
17.
You also have the +4. You can roll a D4.
Roll that
Plus
d4.
4.
Yeah, send a D4. Oh yeah,
D4.
baby.
D4.
Oh yeah.
1. Now it's an 18.
There we go.
18.
18.
We'll take it.
He is telling us he has no idea what you're talking about. He had sent assassins 6 months ago, but it was thwarted, and he's been looking for a way to go in. So he truly is clueless. He has no idea who would have assassinated this guy, or sent assassins in here.
How peculiar.
No. Nothing too crazy's been going on, but there's just been the strangest things have been happening. But you know, I've been a child slave all my life. I was sold there because there's not enough wheat to feed the people. Then I got sold again into the palace. And then I had to be under this jackass of a captain. And so, I did what I did best. And I did a little coup. And I'm the captain now. And now this little hijinks under a little different team, if you know what I mean. And we have a little bit different objectives as, you know, the captain. We're not under that regime anymore. We're not so loyal to Elysium anymore, if you get my drift. So, maybe, You might be interested in hiring us for that job.
Hired mercenaries from within. Go ahead and roll. If you are still loyal to Elysium, a persuasion. If you are lying, a deception, and you don't have to tell me which one you roll.
I wonder.
Don't tell us what it is either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blindly following show. Send it.
I will say,
Baby.
before
Let me
you say it,
roll.
before you say it, his
Mhm.
insight is a 14. Okay, so whatever you have to beat, if you're lying, all right, and you don't lie better than a 14, then you will have to tell me that you're lying. If you're telling the truth, either way, persuading, then you'll just say like, "Yep, we got it." So all you have to do is tell me if you failed, and if that failed was a deception. Does that make sense?
Yes. I did not fail.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So you see him ponder this
Stress.
idea, and he says, and he looks over at presumably the queen, and he says, and you hear him whisper something that is out of earshot. Anybody who wants to roll a perception, I'll let you in on the secret. The DC check is a 17.
I will roll for that.
You want?
And it's a perception.
Yep. So Tydox is going to roll the perception, or Raven. I don't know if you were about to roll Raven,
Well,
but
if you do it, you get the D4. I don't get the D4.
Okay, then I probably should roll it.
Okay.
Perception. 24 before emboldening bond.
Jesus. Okay, yeah, you should have rolled that for show.
as he goes to whisper to, he says, "Dear, I'm sure Father would love to hear about this." And you hear this like little phrase, and that seems weird. Even without a high insight, with a 24, you hear him mention Father, but he's supposed to be the king. So like, what? You know? And then with a 24, you definitely hear the sounds of like someone gnashing a body at the foot of these people, and they're just full on ignoring it. And then after you hear that, he comes back to you guys and says, "And what are your demands? I think there's room for you in my army."
Well, it's not gonna be cheap. I'm gonna be honest with you again, sir. You know, I'm not a very good liar. I'm just gonna be honest with you up front. This dragonborn right here, this 7-foot tall captain, you might have heard of him. He's fought against Mycelium before, haven't you? And Shell like kind of gives him a smack. You yeah? Is that who you are? Yeah? That's good. Oh, you see those wings up there that we were talking about? Those are his. And we like them back.
He stares at the princess like, "Oh God," and then looks back and goes, "Fine, but after you kill the king."
Do we have any sense of what the magical item in the room is?
Them wings, though.
Boots?
The boots is the magic item that you would have assumed would have been from Heaven's Ascent. The wings are also a magic item. So you definitely feel there are like magic items, but like I've said before with other magic items in the area, there's like a different presence around the one that like Yosef has been looking for. And it's not the wings, it's definitely his boots.
I just wondered if Raven specific, like if we would be able to sense like that. I would know
Yeah,
that the boots. Okay.
yeah.
Well, how about a little bit of a down payment? I mean, it's going to be a lot of work to pull this off. What about those boots you're wearing there? They look pretty comfy. Mine are getting tattered and worn a bit. We've been traveling a long time.
You've noticed them, have you? I have recently acquired these as well. However, these I'm not too fond of getting rid of. The wings are just a set piece that I don't necessarily need, but these boots, well, they're far better than you could have ever asked or imagined. The price is too steep. You think these are just simple down payment? You must not know what they are.
Well,
Well,
maybe you can tell us more about what they are.
Ah, maybe a demonstration. And then you see him like stand up and like clap. Um, and the room itself has been filled with these like red lights, like this fire that is like red. Um, versus like a regular like orangey fire, like it's very red, black. The whole tone of the place is like this white, black, red, and you see that he stands up, and just in the second that he like stands up, you see him completely disappear, and then he's immediately behind Raven. You hear him whisper into your ear and says, now could you do this? And then before you're even able to like turn around, you see that he has walked back, as if in the shadows. You just almost just feel his presence, pop up, and the darkness surrounds your body like a cloud, like smoke that would come. It like almost engulfs your thing. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
it's 10.
10 barely passes.
Whew.
You feel this miasmic start to creep into your throat as if the darkness itself begins to choke you. Um, and just as it gets close, you like get a breath of fresh air. Imagine you're like drowning in like the tides of a water, like in the deep, like in the ocean. Like you get past the little like wave, and you're just drowning, and you like come back up for an air, like a thing of air. That's the feeling that you get. Almost as if the like your life force has like was getting taken away and has brought him back.
Well,
And yeah, and then you see him basically pop back, sit down as if nothing has happened. And the red lights that had shined has like gotten dimmer in the room.
Gotta be honest, that was a little bit more frightening than whatever body horror you got going back there.
Body horror? Oh. And he looks down, and then he kicks the person in front of him, like down the stairs. As she goes, you see she's a beautiful woman, red hair. Blood has just like dripping down her thing, like her face. And he says, "You dog, get back up. I didn't kick you that hard." And then you see her, as she like rolls down. The blood is going through. She like opens her eyes, um, like starved, like a orangey red. Her eyes are like thing. She catches the eyes of Show, and is immediately, um, like feral, in nature, as she like crab walk basically like flings back up, very like animalistic in the approach as she like starts to walk closer to Show specifically and Jared.
Mm,
And Jared.
you gonna keep your girl under control here, boss?
As she gets like almost to your like basically a foot away from Show. You see a collar around her neck as she gets closer, and you see him like rip her back to the ground. Um, Dogs, they never know their place.
Oh, I know that to be true. Hmm. Well, you know, I think we have ourselves a deal here, though. You don't want to give us the boots, I understand that. But I think for the wings, we'll come back for them. But, let's have a drink for it, shall we? A toast. Do you have any drinks for us?
Hmm. To
That's how
commemorate
we like to seal a deal around here.
a partnership,
Yeah.
Crow, and he yells at that armored guy who's like right in front. He says, "Fetch the table." And he looks down. He nods his head and says, "My lord," and then he walks away. And then you see like a magical array of um, like a table comes and sits before you um, inside the throne room, basically, and the seats and the tables begin to appear. Um, Almost like as magic is like filling this place. The plates, the silverware, the drinks, um, all appear. And then he says, um, and he gestures basically for you to sit down um, to enjoy his feast.
Well, thank you. This is quite the feast.
Ah, it is. And then you see him walk into the space basically that is at the head of the table, again, out of like thin air. The room itself begins to dim again before the light comes back.
Uh,
Um,
hey, Tardox. Would you
Captain?
mind opening up the bag for me so I can put this silly little skull I got on in my hands in there? I want to be bringing that to the dinner table now, would I?
Oh, of course.
And Show would like to do a sleight of hand to put the skull away and find the paralyzing potion that's in the bag.
Specifically, probably that spiked drink from
Yeah.
Mondriel, the bar.
Mm-hmm. That we got Raven drugged the first time.
yeah, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand at advantage because he definitely would not be recognizing that you would be doing this. The DC to beat is a 12.
I got a 19 with advantage.
He does not notice with his passive perception. So you slide it in, he gets in.
Just now with show.
All right.
And so I'm trying to think about this.
Mirror Skull's back in the bag, and the vial of spiked drink from Mondriel. This is a small shot worth of spiked drink that will immobilize any who drink it, says the DM.
Yep.
Not me.
So can you tell me who's in the room again and where we're sitting at the table?
Yeah, you see at the so imagine like a very long table. At the head of the table, it's this grand chair, almost similar to the throne, but is like basically the grand gesture of a chair comes by, um, and you see the guy that you've been talking to. You see next to him is his wife, um, and then next to him on the floor is the dog that he has chained up. And then you see Crow, Lieutenant Commander John Crow. He's behind him, so it's just those four, kind of at the end of the table.
Okay.
The only two people that are sitting are him and his wife.
Um. Okay, so Shell would like to go and take the seat, I presume, to his right, where the guest would sit normally. And Shell sits down.
So you're across from his wife, or are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Across
you're
from his wife, on the
close
right,
to-
his right hand,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
If you're looking at him, you're on the left, right, and he's on the or she's on the right, or opposite.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah.
And Shell Shell kind of sits down, and he's just kind of makes himself comfortable, and he then leans down to look at the boots again, and he's like, now tell me more about these boots that you have going on. And he's like, those are pretty neat how you just were able to shadow walk like that. It's pretty impressive stuff. And then Sho would like to make another sleight of hand to see if he can slip it into his drink.
Yeah. Let me roll. Vampires love talking about themselves, so this one's only a 9 to beat. So that's a good chance.
Oh, baby.
Somehow even easier than pulling something out of a bag.
What's my sleight of hand? Do I get emboldening bond still or no?
You would still be within 30 feet. The table's not that big.
Just because it's a little close.
It's probably
sleight of
like
hand's a
15.
+3.
Raven is definitely at the opposite head of the table, or the foot of the table, and he's just got his legs plopped up, and he's just drinking booze. He's just already getting into the festivities.
Have you drank anything that is on the table?
No, I'm drinking my own booze
Or-
right now.
On booze. Okay.
In fact, I am drinking a level 1 cure, just in case.
In fact, actually, I'm glad you asked.
Shell, what'd you roll?
An 11 with the emboldening bond.
Perfect.
That's close.
So you do that, and he's like, it begins to talk about these, and they're a prized possession. These, when I found them, I just knew I had to have them. He's looking down, and he's like, and of course, they help me with all sorts of things that I may need. And, well, aren't they just delightful? And they match my cape, and he's like showing off these things. And he goes, but enough about me, more about you. Tell me, what makes you bleed?
What makes me bleed? What doesn't make me bleed, really, if you think about it? All kinds of things. But what really makes me bleed, though, is, I think we would call it revenge.
Revenge? Did the king do something to you negatively?
You know, I've just been wrong so much in my life. It's just a culmination of everything, you know? Not really anything he did in particular. But, he runs that place, right? Isn't a country a reflection of his king? You would know.
What? No. Kings are bastards, they are. All of them. All they care about is power and desire. I just want freedom. To live my life as I want. She throws the dog back over to, him. To love, and he grabs her, and to love whoever I want. And then the queen, presumably the queen next to him, she kind of shudders when he does this to this person. He says, I love the ability to do whatever, whenever. And then he, with his other hand, he starts to swirl the drink, in his hand, not even realizing that he hasn't like poured a drink for himself yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's like, you know, the rest of the cups are like empty, you know, because he hasn't had the cupbearer come by yet. But he's like swigging it out, and he's just like so pompously, just like, you know, like I can do anything, you know, that mentality.
Yeah. You know, that's kind of interesting that you say that, though. So it kind of makes me wonder, though, who is the king? Since you're not.
And at this, you know, offended and galled, he says, "Well, I am the king. Can't you see?" And then you would he like points over to all of the um, like posters and like, you know, you see statues within this place, you know, like bodies. Every one of them looks very similar to this guy, um, you know, and you know, appalled by this questioning of him being the king. Um, you know, he says, "Is that any way to treat your ruler? To accuse him of lying? How dare you? Is this the way you start business deals?"
Oh. We're in the middle of our business deals. I've been very honest with you, so I thought maybe you would be a little honest with me. After all, I have to make sure that I'm making the deal with the right person.
Well, you are. Can't you see? I am the king. Or I will be.
Really? Maybe
You
you
know,
need to go check in with Daddy, right?
seeing that his ruse is up, um, he leans into you, very close, you know, setting his drink on the ground, like on the table back. And he says, "I do not need to check with anyone's father. I run this place. This is my castle."
Well, that's good to hear. If that's true, then we'll take the wings as down payment and we'll come back for those boots for our payment.
As he gets close to you, he like smells you know, the liveliness of your like breath. I remember that scene in Finding Nemo when Bruce like smells the blood, and you see his eyes like, you know, go differently. The dog that is like sitting there, she like is like drooling, you know, blood still covering her like thing, but you see her, she's just drooling as she like stares at how close you are. But as he gets close, you see, you know, he like leans back for a second, almost dazed at your human aroma. um, he says, hmm, ah, well, maybe there's a change of scenery that we must I could offer you far more than just these wings or boots. Maybe a place within my army. Um, and as he sits there, you see Crow has like not unsheathed his sword, but you see that he has like grabbed his sword um, at your next request. Because you definitely feel like the room is getting more tense.
New scheme. I want to try and stealth cast another spell.
He is distracted, so I will say that you would be able to.
Jared out here just
really
like
good.
new plan. Here's this
This one-
wrench. I'm gonna
This one
fucking
is
throw
also
it.
visual and semantic,
Yeah.
but it only takes a minute instead of an hour.
I want
Okay.
it to be known that I'm pretty like Tydox is clock and crow, like aware, not so much of the conversation, but of crow.
Yeah. Perfect. Jared, you can do it. Roll that sleight of hand first to see if you can
Yep.
do this stealthily. Um,
Okay.
You have to beat
18.
a 5, so you did it.
Pretty
He's
decent.
distracted. He's distracted, so there's no, there's a good chance.
I'm just gonna
What
start
spell are you
prepping that
casting?
spell. Magic circle.
Okay. Um. And so he had just asked me if I wanted to place in his army.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says what he offers is more than just like power, than these wings or these things. Like you could have something deeper than that, like a place in his army.
Knowledge.
Show noticing that he thinks he's enticing. He's gonna do something a little crazy. And Show kind of puts his hand on his cup and he says, "So, it looks like you have a proclivity for blood, don't you?" And he like leans close.
Oh, my lantern.
Yeah, you see. I mean, you know that he's a vampire, but you see
Mhm.
very, very clearly he like shows you that he's a vampire. I mean, you knew just from the way he like looks and sounds and talks and does, and but this is the first time that Show really would have like 100% confirmed this is a vampire. He leans in, he bangs his or he rears his bangs, or his fangs, and you know uh, gets ready to bite you, basically, if you're offering.
Well, maybe it'd be a little interesting. I need those wings today. So I'm gonna offer you something, maybe a little crazy, but I'm pretty spontaneous. I'll give you a drink of my blood. But don't kill me, please. But it seems like you might be kinda into me, if you get what I'm saying.
That does sound enticing. But how are you going to stop me if I take it instead of just offering it? Again, I am the ruler of this place.
Oh, but you're also very civilized, it looks like to me. So why fight when we can have some more fun?
He looks again towards his wife. Like, hey, this is gonna be a bad idea. But go ahead and roll me a persuasion.
Hmm.
DC to beat is a 16.
Um. Oh my god. 11.
Did you with emboldening? Well, yeah. Either way, it would have.
Yeah. That was without emboldening bod, but it doesn't matter.
Even with the 4, it would have been just high enough.
What's Magic Circle do?
What does Magic Circle do? That's a good point.
It keeps a creature. It keeps its creature of a species, like either Fey, Undead, or Fiends. You have to pick one from leaving or entering the circle. Disadvantage on attack rolls against people inside the circle. And people inside the circle can't be possessed or charmed or frightened from that species.
It's a good one.
Very interesting. As he is distracted by Show, it's a 10-foot sphere or cylinder.
Yep.
And so I'm guessing it's the point in which he's in. Everybody would be within this circle of the vampires. The people that would miss the would be Tydox, Raven for sure, Jared, and then I'm not sure where Ert was sitting, but I assumed he was towards the back as well with all of them. But Show is definitely within the circle. So is him. So is the presumably the queen, his wife, the dog, and then Crow.
If we're placing, I would be closer to like Crow. Like if he is on, like we said, we had.
Crow is right behind.
Oh, behind.
Yeah, he's right behind him. He's like his personal guard.
Okay.
It's also Crow, Creaux.
All right.
What the
you,
fuck?
Okay.
He's French.
It's also
Coming sparkling.
John is Jean.
Jean.
His name is Jean Crow.
Not to be confused with Remy LaCroix.
I knew
Oh,
I knew
Mwah.
Tydox was gonna write it down, and I was like, let me write it down with how stupid I spelled it.
Dude, you fucking yep. You got it. But okay. So then reasons. If they're at like, did they pull out a banquet and they're like facing us now? Because
Yeah, they're in front of you.
yeah,
for
because
sure.
we would have Viken in the middle, and then behind him is Crux, and
Crow.
to
It's Crow. It's French.
and then to my right, because I'm facing them, is the girl whose name I have, but I forgot. And then on the other side, my left is Show.
She has not said her name, if that makes you feel better.
Okay, good. So
Her
it's-
name is Laurel.
Do I have to get a Google Translate to French?
No, it's English. It's Lorrel.
Great.
L'Oreal.
You probably would have spelled it L-A, but it's Lorrel.
Does she know
Sometimes
me?
I just don't have any time to like mentally think, and I'm like, that's a lot of red. I'll figure it out later.
Her name is not anywhere that you would have known. Viken is named, and his name is Viken as well, but he's not the king. So,
And
the
she is
magic-
not sitting,
She is.
or
sitting.
she is sitting.
He's
Okay,
sitting
so
across
I
from
am.
me.
Yeah, the dog that is chained is not sitting. That was eating the whatever.
Hold on.
The
Crossed.
There's
I thought we
4
had, like-
vampires.
I thought we had like a straight line, and we have King in middle, left hand of King facing me is girl, and then
No.
Lord.
It's
King.
it's like a vertical. Yeah, it's
King
like
is
this.
the table, king, show, wife, and then it's like a line. It's like a banquet table going down. So
Oh, so he's at
King.
the head of the table, not in the middle.
and then me.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
like
queen.
Okay.
here, and
He's
then
behind the
Raven's
table.
like here at the
And then
bottom.
Raven's on the other side.
And then it's actually she's here on, or shows this side, and then she's on this side.
Okay.
Not that it really matters. It could go either way, but I assumed you guys are on the back.
Okay. Yeah. So
Um,
if he's
yeah.
behind at the head, I'm like I wanted to have like a clear line of sight to Crow and still be able to see Show.
Yeah, you would still be able to. I mean, you're looking that way, so you would see Show would be in front, and then him would be back. But you do know that the magic circle begins to resonate in this area. It takes a minute, so right about a minute, he's like fanging his teeth towards Show to begin to drain him of blood. And just when he he's almost caught by bloodlust, he looks as he's looking at Show, he sees down and notices the magic circle has now trapped him within this area that he did not notice before. And then he, outraged, calls the banquet off. You bastards! And then he flips the table up, and then he sees this, and he says, "Thinking that you can imprison me here in my domain." And then you see that he tries to walk out of it using his boots, and you see that he walks out, but it walks back into the thing, almost like you see him disappear within it, and then pops back within the magic circle.
He can do, if he passes a charisma saving throw, he can get out. Didn't know if he did that.
You see exactly what just happened. He begins to try to walk out, and he walks back in. Basically, you see him puff into like thing of smoke, and stopped in there. Um, the queen who had been sitting there, she's still unlike phased after he like flips the table, and she just is like sitting there. Raven, you're at the head of the foot of the table. Go ahead and roll a dex saving throw.
Whew.
Plus
4.
Technically, saving throws are just they're not.
Oh yeah, that's not a thing.
Oh, that's not a
Oh, no.
So 3.
Face full of table.
3. You take only 1 point of damage as the table flies.
Oh, it does. Sorry, saving throw does apply. Attack rolls, ability checks, saving throws.
Okay.
Okay, 4.
With a 4, you take
Mattered.
a. It did not. You
Okay,
take
sorry.
one point of damage as the table flies past you. While you're still like sitting down, it like crashes the seat behind you and just barely nicks your head as you.
I like
Yeah,
to
we
think
were
I
also-
got like
your
a
feet-
sliver in my.
Yeah, your feet were also on the thing. That's what you had said. So it flips, and you're just like tilted back, and you were able to kind of like dodge most of it, and then your head actually smacks the back of the seat that you were on, and you see Lord Viking has fanged his teeth towards you, Shell. He says, "Was this your plan all along to trap me in this infested magic circle?"
No, it truly wasn't. He's a priest. He gets a little scared around the vampires. Obviously, I don't share that opinion, so I do apologize for that.
Well, release me unless you want more bloodshed.
Well, I don't want any bloodshed. It seems like you'd be the one who want the bloodshed. Let's be honest. Well. So it's just a charisma saving throw for him to get out of it?
For him to teleport out, he can't walk out normally, but if he passes a charisma saving throw, he can teleport out.
Yeah.
So it's not the most secure thing.
No, but he has to pass the 16 charisma 16 saving throw.
He has disadvantage on attack rolls, and
Yeah,
can't use his charmed or possession, which is,
he does other stuff.
if you don't know, it's what vampires are really good at.
Yeah, but that only works if you're outside the circle show.
Only if I'm outside the circle.
If so, wait, what only works if show's outside?
So he can
The
still
attack-
possess
the-
me if I'm in the circle.
The charms and the disadvantage stuff only works for people who are not in the circle with him.
Gotcha.
That disadvantage on attack rolls is somebody who's within the circle, actually, not without.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
So he
Well,
gets
I see.
disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
and that's
So
kind of
show's
weird.
pretty
The word is
good.
kind of weird because
Some of it
the-
is about out of it, and then some of it is
Yeah.
like within it. Yeah. it's
but
a weird-
also I'm reversing the direction because normally it works. Normally it's supposed to keep things out, but you can reverse it to keep things in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice. That's dope. Are we negotiating?
Yeah, and negotiations are very tough. Basically, he says, "Let him go, or he's gonna kill Shell." Is basically the, and he just disintegrated Roger. So just know that.
How many of them are in the circle? It's
Korok.
just him.
All of them.
And
All of them.
are
All
all
of them.
in the circle.
Yeah,
So they can't get out of the circle.
Yeah.
But Sho can get out of the circle.
Show would also have to roll the.
Where are the wings in
does
the
he?
circle? Do I have to pass a
Oh,
charisma
no.
saving throw?
No, you would actually be able to walk out because you're
Yeah,
human.
it's only.
So it's
Are
any
the wings in
undead-
a circle?
Yeah, they're right above the table, so they're right above them.
Hmm.
They would, since it's 20 feet tall, they would be right at the
Yeah.
edge. If that makes you feel better.
Okay. Sho claps his hands together and he's like, "No, this wasn't my plan. But Jared, he's a pretty smart guy, and if he wants to do magic circles, well, I don't argue with my magic men." And Sho jumps up and tries to grab the wings.
Tydox casts Bane
On him.
as
well.
she's moving. I'm gonna cast it on 3 of them. If they're all in the circle, I'm gonna fucking hit them all with Bane.
There's 4 in the circle, so which one is not?
Hell yeah! You want me to hit
Bro-
4 of
bro-
them?
They're all within the circle, but there are 4 bodies in the circle, and then Show is 5.
Okay. Because I can. Well, I'm not gonna cast it on Show, but if I use it at a 2nd level, I can add another person.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cast Bane, which up to 3 characters unless level 2. Within range must make a charisma saving throw. Whenever the target fails the saving throw, makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, they must roll a d4 and subtract that number rolled from the attack rolls or saving throws. So I'm gonna try to hit them with a Bane. My DC save is 15.
Lycan passes.
Oof.
The queen passes. The dog doesn't, and then the crow does not as well.
Oh
So
boy.
2 and 2. What happens if they fail?
Okay.
Nothing, right?
Then they no.
Or
if they
if
fail,
they're
then
banned, it's a
yes, they
D4.
are now baned. Yeah,
Yeah. If they pass, they
Yep.
are not banned.
correct.
So the queen and her. Everybody else, let's go ahead and roll initiative. Okay.
Let's
For
go.
sure.
Shit!
Let me change how the.
Come on, baby.
Ooh, big
Seem
bucks.
like-
I was worried. Where can I get to use that map for a
I
second?
got a 5.
I got 5 on it. Ooh, I can switch the
Yeah.
scene.
Big old empty
Ow,
room.
bear.
I got a 3.
I got a 9.
Fuck. Fuck.
It's okay. We're safe.
21.
Joe, not so much.
We're not. We're not 100%. Not 100% safe. Okay.
We're pretty safe.
We're pretty safe. We are pretty safe.
Safer than before.
Yeah.
We are pretty.
I assume that it's something like this. Is the way you guys would have been. Does that feel good?
Sounds about right.
Show's probably up here actually, but. And then the circle, magic circle. Let me see. There's a way
Is we-
to
The
add
one by
circles.
Show is the dog. Or is it the
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They all have names too.
I would have been a little further out yonder so that I can get line of sight.
I did it based off of the table.
Okay. The magic
The
man.
circle.
Magic man.
I see me. I don't.
Literally like all of them right in it. That's crazy.
Perfect.
Okay, nice work.
Perfect. All right, let me write these down. Let's find a pen. Okay, and then ooh, they rolled really bad. Ba, 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 ba. I don't have pin right here.
Is the distance pretty accurate? So I'm like approximately like 5 feet away from show, or less.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty close. All right. 20 to 25.
21.
Never in my life.
Raven. Oh, my one pin. Let's do it the old fashioned way. Write it in my notes. All right. Raven. 15 to 20. Okay.
Sheesh.
10 to 15.
Wow. So me and then all of them and then you guys.
I spent all my
They-
I spent all the good rolls on the
they
negotiation.
roll.
We did stuff already.
They rolled extremely bad. So
Oh.
Hell yeah.
2 of them did roll in between this, but 5 to
Well, so
10.
did we. Yep.
What did you guys roll? 10, 5. You rolled a 5 too.
9.
9. Jared. Ert or Show? Who wants to go first?
Isn't it based on our dexterity? It's probably me.
My dex is +0, so
Mine's
11
a
total.
16,
Yeah,
plus
you
3.
win.
I thought you guys had the same for whatever reason. And then Tydox.
Did I just know a D&D roll?
3.
Everybody? Hell yeah!
What a nerd!
22 episodes in.
3.
We're learning.
Solid 3 for Tydox. Bringing up the rear.
It is the rear. And then
Or I'm at the top of the bottom of the rotation.
it is kind of. And then her main. Lara. All right. Raven, you are up, sir. Actually, Show, you jumped up to try to get it. Go ahead and roll
handle
me-
that
just-
so I can figure out what I'm going to do.
Yeah, roll. Go ahead and roll like a. You're gonna basically like grapple the wings essentially. So if you want to athletics or something like that, to like jump up there.
17.
Okay. And then he is gonna jump up there with you. So you guys are basically battling in the air. He can fly, so he flies up there. And you guys are now grabbing the wings together. And he's staring deeply at you. Go ahead and roll me a charisma saving throw.
Natural 20.
Holy
Uh,
shit.
You are
It
not
matters.
charmed.
He's actually a little
Raven,
charmed. He's actually feeling
You
it
should
now.
have drank my blood when I offered.
He should have. Raven, you're up.
Are they technically humanoids?
Yep.
Okay. Then try to figure out how to flavor this. Basically, the 2 that are not baned, I want to
Mhm.
cast hold
Which is-
hold person on.
Yeah, the 2 big ones. The sister and the brother, if we're assuming that's who they are. The king, Valken,
Yes.
and Laura.
They are married. She is technically a princess, but and he's a prince. But they are married to each other.
Well, I would like them to be bound in holy paralyzation.
Old person in chat,
I
see.
gotta see what the saving throw is.
Wait, it's brother and sister that are married?
No,
they're not.
just married.
They are
Oh.
Not
they are
brother and
prince
sister.
and princess, but they are married. They are not brother and sister.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like.
So it's,
Alabama
Make it
vampires.
weird.
a wisdom saving
keep that
throw of
bloodline
13.
Sure.
Pure.
13.
Yeah.
Just on him. He passes natural 20. And she passes too. With an 8.
Worth a shot. All right, and then I'm gonna.
Oh.
What? What's up?
I was gonna say they're very wise, very wise and very charismatic.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I tried to bring that down a smidge, but
yeah, even with the thing, they're way higher. Even with the bane. Well, they're not baned either. So
no, they're not. They passed that too. But
okay,
the
so that's
other
your
ones,
that's your action.
Yeah.
And
I
keep holding me too, because I may forget that they're banned. I can see if I can
Yeah.
actually ban them.
double checking. Is anyone particularly hurt, or I know we're
I got no.
okay. Well, either way, I'm gonna kind of
I'm
Quarter,
good.
maybe.
position
Got 46
myself
out of 59,
over by like Tydox and Jared,
and I'm about to get in some trouble.
and
Okay.
that's it.
Lord Viking is going to unleash his bloodlust on you. Show. He misses his first attack, and then he's going to go to try to bite you, and freaking misses.
Dope.
So he misses both of those things as you guys are, kind of fighting back and forth on these things. Laurel, she's going to. She freaking misses the freaking thing too, even though they're super stupid magic circle. She misses her Misty Step. She's got Misty Step out of there. Jared, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. I'm good at those. Maybe not as good as I was hoping. 13?
She doesn't. Yeah, nice. She fails still. It's okay. She doesn't Misty Step. She Shadow Walks, which is her movement, and then her spell. She tries to dispel the magic circle, but fails. So you see her trying to cast some sort of magic. She's a magic user.
Not as safe as I thought.
She
They have a lot more counters.
She fails the dispel magic. Jared, you are now up.
Let's see. Man, they really rolled low on initiative, did they?
Yeah. They somehow rolled worse. Show and Tylock.
I will
Rolled a
do.
two.
It's my superpower.
I'll do holy.
I'll take that out
word.
and then the natural 20 for the not get possessed though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call.
I'll do holy word on the prince. Sure.
Holy word.
Yep.
What does that do?
If it hits, it deals 1d8. If it hits an undead, they move 10 feet slower. Their speed is reduced by 10 feet, and they cannot take reactions until the next turn.
Sick, dude. You can go ahead and roll it.
First, it has to hit. 13.
13 misses. You were doing it on Viking, right?
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a +4 for your attack. Well,
+4 on hits.
Bolting bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Attack rolls. Yep. Come on, baby.
1.
Still
Oh.
misses.
All right.
Gotta try.
Good try.
Okay.
I had a feeling that
Probably
wasn't
the
coming
bonus
anywhere
action
close.
thing. Bonus action.
And
Oh.
since that was a cantrip, you can still use the leveled spell.
Oh. I guess I'll get the good old ghost sword out.
Good old magic weapon. I don't have a character. No, I'll do that. I'll do this one. Where would you like to put it? You can place it wherever you want, brother.
Well, put it in like the middle of the circle. That way it can hit everyone.
Just fucking swinging away, baby.
And then
What is that, a
did I
cantrip?
get to me? This one's a spell. The
Magic
first one's a
Missile
cantrip,
on a bonus action.
and you can immediately. So I can make one melee attack. Can I try and cut off the prince's feet? One of those boots. Get those boots off him.
He is up
Jared's
in the air.
watching now.
He is up in the air. You can certainly try to attack his feet.
Jared really hates those vampires.
Wow.
Toes.
You
Somehow
should.
worse.
+4.
And I don't. Do I still get a +4?
Get it on everything,
only-
Bubba.
It's once per turn, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Once per turn.
Yeah. So that's definitely not hitting.
Dang.
I want the boots.
Okay.
And boots is made for
The boots.
Um,
Or at least have the boots
next,
out of the play.
Crow is now up. Crow is going to try to giant greatsword show, and he rolls really well.
He's baned, right?
He is
He
baned.
is baned. This will matter. Oh my
Oh, will it?
god. If he rolls a 1 or 2, he still hits. Ah. Okay. He fails. Um,
Bang, giddy.
you see that he goes to try to attack you and misses. Show. And Valera, she. I mean, you're the only one in here, and they can't do anything. So I'm sorry, Show. You're just getting attacked
Fine.
because they can't get out yet. So she's also Bane. So I'll roll that this time. I won't get excited. She's 2 attacks too, so is he actually. I freaking failed. How do you fail 4 attacks? How do you do it?
I know.
How do you
This guy-
do it?
Everyone has missed.
The dice don't lie.
Show, you're up.
Show looks at Viking and he's like, you know, I wasn't lying about going to the Lost Temple of Mimir and beating his ass. And Show summons Dropnir in his hand, and Show is going to launch it at the ceiling to try and either get the wings down, but hopefully it would just blow up the entire ceiling.
Go ahead and roll it to hit with it.
Natural 20 again.
Oh my god!
Actually, roll double damage because it will matter, but you'll roll double damage on the thing.
Okay.
Double the dice roll.
So I need.
I believe it's 2d6.
So there's that plus. Well, it's a double, right? So there's this one, which would be 10 plus 16, and then that's 2d8s plus 6 as well. Right? So 16 on the first one, and then 8 plus 6 for 14. So 30 points of damage total.
30 is just enough. That's actually crazy. So you see 30 hit the top part. It blows the steel casted like chains that are on there as dropping things. You guys both fall to the ground. You take 5 points of falling damage
Okay.
as the wings and you collapse to the ground.
And then as a bonus action, I would like to go into a rage.
Perfect. Okay, you're up.
So where is kind of on the map is where everyone's at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can move and attack, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
I guess, I mean, at this point, shows right here. If I move here, am I like being affected by a spell?
Yeah, the circle is the magic circle that Jared has put down.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
go in
But
there.
you should be able to,
Don't-
to go inside it
Without being like hurt?
because
I don't know.
it only affects creatures that are celestial, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. And he
I guess-
chose undead, so
Yeah.
technically you're not undead, so you wouldn't be affected by anything within it.
But they can affect you.
Yeah.
It
I don't know.
can affect you.
I think the best thing, cause who's this chick on this right to the above chest
She
show?
is the dog. Her name
Oh.
is Valera.
Mm.
She is the new vampire princess, but
Who's the one with the shoes? The one in the middle?
the one in the middle, Lord Viken.
Okay. Well, that's who I want. I want the shoes too. I'm gonna help everyone. Jared was going for the
Yeah.
shoes. It's my turn to go for the shoes.
I'm
There's
working on the
also
shoes.
Yep.
there's also silver wings on the ground, Captain.
Are they on the ground?
Yeah, they
Oh my
are.
God.
Oh, I
Shella
thought they
just
were still
knocked
up
them-
there.
Shella just knocked him down the last turn, and they are now on the ground.
Oh, well, fuck. Let me just go grab my wings then. Where they at?
Okay, they're right there. I mean, they're huge. They're in dragon form. So
Dragon form. Earth gonna go touch it.
all right. Roll me an Arcana.
I thought they were still up in the air. I just want to kill something. Shit. What is that?
Killing the team.
So. Oh, I got 19 plus.
Oh.
Arcana. Plus 1, 20. 30, 20.
So with the dirty 20, you feel them like almost like immediately when you touch that they call out to you.
They're like,
That
"Earth,
it is
Earth."
everything. They're Arithadium. They say your name. They
Can't
call
even
upon
remember
you
that.
as
Earth,
master.
Earth.
You know, as Lord, as
Lord.
ruler. You know, so they call all these things into you, and as soon as you touch it, you feel the magic. Like Spider-Man when he gets the like nano like things. As soon as you touch these wings, they like morph into your body. They eradicate who you are, and then as soon as you're like jolted, as this goes on, and your wings sprout out of your back, you take 11 points of damage as it's like shock spreads through your like system. It crumbles you to the floor. This is an extremely painful moment as basically your whole organs and bodies like rearranging so that you can have wings. You feel like the whole everything about you is like slowly like dying and coming back together. So it's like basically your cells are replacing each other as you're doing this. You are out of commission for one whole turn.
I'm gonna get 2 actions though. Because of my ability.
Yeah, one per wing.
Yeah, one per.
That's funny. One per wing.
One per wing.
You got
It
2
will
wings.
take up the rest of this turn, and then you can come back for the next turn with your action. Tydox, you are up. It is,
Hey.
and when I say this, I don't want you to take it like, oh man, he took my turn. Like this thing is like rearranging the cells in your body to like come back. You know,
So it's
like
rearranging my guts.
yeah, you're getting your guts. you,
You perverts.
you do now get a flying speed, double your walking speed.
I don't know.
Right now, your walking speed is 30 feet. You can now
90.
fly up to 60 feet.
Whack.
That's double. So 60 feet of movement now that you can use for flying once per long action or long rest. So it's going to take you a little bit to kind of get back to used to flying speed. Okay.
Bing Gouda.
Bing chilling.
Bing chilling.
Tydox,
Alright.
you're up, brother.
So yes, I think watching all of this happen, the wings falling down and Mimir being chucked at the ceiling, it gives Tydox the idea, and he's like, "Oh, I remember this move, Captain." And he's gonna shoot magic missile at the roof right above them, like we did last time.
So the ceiling hasn't collapsed though, right?
It is not, but there is a lot of it. It's a good move. I like it. Go ahead and roll
We're gonna-
it again.
That's the. I mean, oh, we're just gonna roll the damage, right? Because magic missile hits either way. Damage. 1d4 plus 1. Sorry, I rolled off the thing. 4. Dude, does it 3? Is it 3 hits? Boop, boop, boop. Right? Okay. So, one was a 5. 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. 11 points of damage.
You begin to cave into this ceiling. The rest of the ceiling tends to open up, very faintly. You see a shimmer of light appear at this. It hasn't touched any of the vampires, but
Yeah.
definitely notice it.
Dope. Okay.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
And I'm gonna do my. So that was the main action, and then I don't think I have. How close am I to? Well, you said about 5 feet. I'm gonna give. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna do the bonus field to myself. So I'm gonna give myself 4 temporary. Oh wait, it's already there because it hasn't gone away. Okay, I'm gonna give Ertz the cantrip of the black and holy flame on his
Holy dive.
sword. Yeah, buddy. Just don't hit me with it this time. Okay.
You have not pulled out one of your swords. You literally ran over there and touched the wings.
Oh yeah,
But
he didn't. He didn't do it. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I forgot.
Or we could do it. Leave it to
Then-
random
You
chance.
can use it on my candy cane.
I also have
Could.
dropping out.
There's Drobnir out. I will say, out of the weapons that are out, Drobnir I think is the only one that is actually out. That has been like, hey, I have unsheathed my weapon.
Yeah.
You make my ghost sword.
The
Hey,
ghost
Gummy.
sword is also there.
Mm.
Can I use it on a ghost sword?
I don't know. I have no
I
idea.
don't. Sure.
Fuck it, why
Yeah,
not?
you conjure a plume. Yeah, whatever.
I don't see any reason.
As you
not
touch a
to.
weapon that is engulfed with this flame, it grants an extra 1d6 to the weapon damage. Bonus
I do
damage causes
see
both
the,
flame, well, necrotic or radiant.
I also see the touch range on it as well, too. Meaning you have to be within 5
I would
feet.
have to. Which
Move.
because none of this is very big, right? So if
No,
I stayed right outside the circle, I could still touch.
Touch.
It's at 5 feet.
Eh.
Yeah.
Reach your hand in. Put
Yeah.
your right
Yeah.
hand in.
Yeah, exactly.
You shake it all about.
I
So
will
that's
say
my-
Outta here.
you could pick whichever sword you want, whether it's Dropnir or if where you're at right now, it would be and you would just touch one of his swords and light it on fire.
I do have 3 on my back.
It does have
Yeah,
quite a few.
that's more of what I was thinking is kind of like a pat on the attaboy, like, hey, you're gonna make it through, buddy.
I'm like a
Alright.
super
that-
witcher.
You're
Er-
the worst.
Do you specifically choose which one's gonna black holy flame, or you just
I mean,
tapping them on the back? Is what I'm asking.
I-
Tie dogs.
Oh, I think I would give him the choice. Give him the choice.
I mean, I would probably just do it on my Moonlight Greatsword.
The Moonlight Sword.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been my first
Yeah.
thought if I had to pick. So-
Let's make it stupid.
I hedged my bet because I know you've got a whole bunch of information up there, and sometimes it's not correct. So
You would be correct.
Moonlight. So I guess we're gonna touch the Moonlight Greatsword if we're all here together in the
I don't
world.
think that one's really sheathed. Is too big to have a big old sheath. It's just kind of just
Will
there.
that affect the magic of the sword itself, or is it add to?
It adds to.
Fine.
This
Find
isn't
out
like
next time
This
on.
isn't Elden Ring or.
Yeah, I was like, did I nullify a buff here or?
No.
Okay, so that's my turn. I buffed and shot at the ceiling.
Raven, you are now
I
up.
just got back shot. What the fuck?
Am I able to determine what type of material the roof is made of?
Go ahead and roll me probably like a nature or a survival check, and I'll let you pick.
Okay. Do survival. Nat 20.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
roof is made of some sort of like, I mean the floor that you're on is like marble. It feels like the top part is like a black, like obsidian, black stone, like gilded, like a dark material of like stone. It's really hard to like cut all the way through. The glass that you've like seen around is like obsidian, um, and the roof that you see, it's very difficult to just kind of burrow through, but you do see light has appeared through it.
I would assume then it's pretty resistant to fire.
Yeah, very,
Okay.
very resistant
All right.
to fire. Yeah.
It's an option I always have to consider.
I respect it, dude.
Hey, he's got a move, and he's really good at this move.
He's really good at doing that one thing.
He's really good at doing his job. Okay.
And then Jean-Jacques Francois, is he the one in the way back?
Yeah, John Crow.
Jean.
His name is LaCroix.
John LaCroix.
Okay, so basically, I want to wrap around and try to candy cane shiv him from the edge of the circle.
Absolutely, dude.
Oh, he's edging now. What the fuck?
We're gonna get those boots for Raven, and we're gonna turn him into a rogue.
I know what your class says, but your gear suggests otherwise.
22 for hit.
He does hit. He passes the Constitution saving throw. So he's not
He's banned.
frozen immediately.
He's back.
Let me see if it's anything but a 4. He passes. He still passes.
But he still
Good
takes
enough.
the piercing damage.
He still takes the piercing damage up.
So 6 damage.
Okay. You feel him get shivved in the back, and
Back shots all around.
I will say you see that he is barely affected by this. It was like nothing has happened.
Doesn't it shiver him a little bit?
It
It is basically on hit. It will freeze him, but they have to roll a Constitution saving throw. Okay. Raven, is that it? I think you might.
Yeah, that's all I can do. Yep.
Viking is up, and he is
Shit.
pissed. So,
Stop.
and now is here on the ground, so he's gonna try to
With his wingies.
freaking claw and attack him. He hits Oh my god. You take 14 points of damage.
Oof.
As he claws and beats on you. Laurel tries to disband the magic circle, and she is successful.
So she's outside the magic circle, or the magic circle's gone?
She got rid of.
She gets rid of it with the spell magic.
Okay.
I can't
Are vampires undead?
Roll an Arcana, Jared. The DC to beat is 23.
Oh, yeah, well, we didn't get that.
So, okay.
Plus
So you did.
4?
Yeah, it
it's
would make,
no,
would not
I
make
know.
difference. God, I have like a +9 in Arcana too.
That's
Bummer.
It was a chance. There's a good chance. So she dispels it, puts the magic in. It is her. It is Jared's turn now.
Well, Can't exactly
it
recast that
again.
immediately.
Yeah, fucking send it again.
Takes a whole minute.
Take a
Okay.
minute, which is 10 rounds of
That's
combat.
like a lot. of
Fair.
combat.
Yeah.
You can certainly begin to cast it if you want to waste 10 turns.
I mean, you're all the way back.
I will allow that, so go for it.
Right, he's like, yeah, fuck it.
How long does it take for you to summon your food and water?
It's instant.
Garlic, running water.
Kebabs.
Like there's a table on the ground. Is the table made of wood? We got steaks. We're ready, boys. We got this.
What was I thinking
Couldn't
of?
you-
I immediately forgot what I was thinking of.
Sorry.
Can you make light?
I can.
Do it in character.
Would work.
Well, it's not sunlight. Like, it's just light.
Are vampires affected by UV? Is that what it is?
SV, actually.
Is it SV?
Specifically
Maybe.
sunlight.
Specifically.
Just so you know, because I know there's some things that some other people can do, but specifically sunlight is what is listed.
How's the roof looking?
How is what?
How's the roof looking? That hole that was in the roof.
It looks pretty beaten. There's it. You know, you could probably destroy it in a turn or two. It's very close to caving in at this point.
Well, I'm gonna do a level 2 magic missile.
Oh, nice.
Can
So
Joffrey
that's
get summoned with
4.
a shovel?
All right, so that's 4 darts at 1d4 plus 1. So
Got an extra dart.
a 5,
Magic missile.
Nice.
a 4,
Magic missile.
Lightning bolts.
a 4,
Magic
Good.
missile.
and a 2.
Magic missile.
15.
Hell yeah.
15. The roof caves mostly in. More light begins to shine in this area. I should probably left the circle because let me try to figure out how I did that last time.
Send you back home. Raining down some sunlight.
So
On these
sunlight
vamps.
specifically, not
Anytime.
moonlight, not radiant damage, not produces light, not firecracker
Sunlight is
flash.
the best disinfectant.
Sunlight.
There, you got it. All right, so this 5-foot little circle is sunlight. Where you had been shooting had been right on top of Lord Viken.
Lord Biquad.
So you do that. It's great.
He was waiting.
Lord Viken's real form appears as the sunlight hits him, and you see him start to burn away his flesh, and this is what we're left with.
His corporeal form.
What happens to his boots?
Yeah.
His
What
boots are
size are
still
they?
on him, but you do see that he the skin melts. His hair goes from like a dark, like a white thing to just like even shiny, clear, as the sunlight hits his form, and starts to melt away his flesh. He does see the shine. You see gigantic vampire wings begin to sprout around him in the air.
He turns into Edward from Twilight.
You start seeing him sparkle.
Gets really moody.
Just like the stars in space.
My shiny teeth.
Jared, is there anything else that you can do?
Yeah, we'll bang
Well, I
yourself.
still got that sword.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. It's underneath.
Oh,
feet.
All right.
Cuts his feet. Where was I? Just had to find. There we go.
Shiny babes that sparkle just like the sun.
14.
14 misses.
Do I still get that +4 or a D4?
Mm-hmm.
That's cocked.
You can roll it again.
That is a. Looks like a 1.
One.
15.
1 misses.
Oof.
Very important after he switches forms here. It begins talking in a language that I don't think any of you guys speak. He no longer speaks common.
French.
I know French.
Wait.
Bouton!
Alors, ça.
Este
Vous
bouton.
n'êtes quoi?
La merde. Sors
Uh,
le Je ne sais quoi, mademoiselle. I have somewhat of a French accent, so the captain that can speak it. I know this to be true.
Unfortunately, I don't think any of you guys speak it or would know the language, unfortunately. But he speaks in a language that you guys don't know. So,
Latin.
and all of his dialogue now is in that language while in this form.
It's Mandarin.
I won't tell you what it is. But Jared, that's it for you. Okay. Crow pushes Viking out of the sunlight, and so that he can take the sunlight, he shoves Viking this way, and he takes the blunt of it and is immediately evaporated
Hooray.
Huh?
by the sunlight.
Who's evaporated? Sorry, I missed.
Fucking-
Lieutenant
Sure.
Commander John.
Oh, you got it. You did.
He,
Jean-Luc Picard.
disintegrates by the sunlight. He's a weaker level vampire, so
He's a lesser vamper.
he's a lesser vampire. He pushes though into this space though. He's also, I know we're kind of like over top of each other. He's in the air, so he's above you guys. But that's Crow's turn. Valera, she ravishly attacks Show. And freaking misses her 2 claws.
Clown.
And misses her bite because she sucks.
Clown.
And that's her turn, and Show, you are now up.
Was that table made of wood?
It was.
Where's the table now?
In the
The
back.
jungle.
Right around this area. The point, this area, right here. Do you see that?
Yep, I see it. Shell is going to we're pretty all close together, aren't we? And Ert's beneath Flagon, right?
Yeah.
And the dog is still behind me.
He's actively clawing and fighting you.
I'm going
She's just
to use drop near to I'm gonna fire drop near at the Valera. Is that her name?
Valera is her name.
Valera.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Does a 18 hit? 18
does hit.
Okay. So that is a 6 and an 8. 17 points of damage.
He did not like that.
And then Show would like to do an unarmed strike and just kind of go out and punch as well.
Perfect.
Her. And that'll be my second attack. And that is a 22.
22 hits.
And then that does 6 points of damage.
Okay. She
And then
is
go ahead.
looking bruised, but she still looks pretty healthy.
And then as my bonus action, I would like to try and grapple Viking.
Okay. Go ahead and roll athletics with advantage.
Oh yeah. With advantage, I got a 26.
Yeah, you got him.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all my moves. So he's got.
Perfect. Viking is grappled. Okay. Next up is Ert, who's underneath Viking.
He's still up in the air, right?
Yep. Twice.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I
more-
can
he-
fly now.
If she grappled him, is he flying or did he fall?
I would assume she's kind of like grabbing his like legs as he's like, she's like
So he
grappled
went
him.
up and Show like got his legs, but Show is more the passenger than the.
Yeah, he's definitely flying in the air. Show's
'Cause-
like on his legs. You do have the ability to fly now. Yep.
Because I think what Captain Erd wants to do is Captain Erd's gonna basically, he sees Vike up in the air. He's gonna grab his sword in his hand and basically shoot straight up to like almost go for an uppercut strike with him.
Perfect. With
And
the
so-
Moonlight Greatsword.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And
It's
then
a two-handed sword.
Yeah.
But you can certainly do that.
yeah, I will for sure. Where's my dice at? There it is. And then so we're in this one. Okay. 18.
You
18 does hit.
Okay, blessed. So then the first one that hits with 18, because he's going up, I would like to do Divine Smite on him as well.
Okay.
And so, so let me do my plan. My plan is basically go up, attack him once with Divine Smite, then go back down with Thunderous Smite.
Okay.
And that's the goal. So do I roll? Should I just roll all that right now? For the first hit.
So Divine
Or-
Smite and the damage. It's important. So roll
Okay,
those
so-
first.
Okay, so we'll do that one. So then that is 2d8. I'm sorry, 2d6, which is this bad boy for the regular Moonlight Greatsword.
Mhm.
Is 4, and I need to calculate all this shit. Where'd my dice go? What's the number? 3. So 4 and 3 plus 8.
It's 15.
and then you get a 1d6 for the Black Holy.
It's a
Flame.
level 2 Divine Smite.
Yeah, and you got a 1d6 with your Holy Flame.
So another 1d6 for the Holy
And-
Flame, which is 4.
And he's an undead, so you get another d8 that's added to it. So 3
So
d8.
then, 3d8. I think that's a d8. So d8. So 1, that sucked. 2, that sucked. And 5, that was okay.
19, 24, and then roll a d6 for your Black
And
Flame.
then a d6. 1, that sucked.
So 25.
Yeah, 25.
Perfect. He
And
did
then
not
God
like
take
that.
damage.
He did not like that at all.
And so,
He
since
is-
that was my first hit, and so my second one, after Captain Merp basically went up, he's gonna swing back down on try and hit him again.
Okay.
And then 19? Oh yeah, 19 hits definitely for sure. If 18 hit him.
Yep.
And then so that's gonna hit him again, and then so it's 2d8 plus 6. Or no, 2d6 plus 8. So here, so 4, 5 plus 8. What is that? 9 plus 8? 16?
17. 9
17?
plus 8 is 17.
Your black
Plus
holy flame stuff, or did you
the
already
Oh
do
yeah.
that? I'm sorry.
1d6.
I haven't done that one yet.
And then
So
your
black
thunder
flame.
smite, right? Is what you said.
Yeah, let me do. That one is only plus 1. So that's what, 20 total right now? Because that was the black flame. And then thunder smite is 2d plus 6. 4 and 6. Ooh, plus 10.
Perfect, dude.
And so
Give
now
this guy for a bajillion damage.
he also needs to roll a strength save throw.
At disadvantage. He fails.
So that means he basically was in the air, and then Capmer basically just swung up, hit him with that super strong one, came back down, swinging him again with a Thunder Smite, and basically just smashed him straight to the ground with Thunder Smite. I'm sorry, Sho. And
Yeah.
then, because
I've
now
been
he
wondering about this whole time.
Yep, I was doing it. And then
I-
so now he
I
should be
forgot
knocked
to.
prone.
Can you roll 2 more attacks? Because it's at advantage.
What do you mean, like
Just
another?
in case you get a nat 20.
Crit.
You had nat
Oh,
20?
okay.
So much math.
That one was a 10 and 10. 2 10s. Does that count?
So- Perfect. I love it. All right, so yeah, he is freaking cooked, basically. Tydox, you're up.
Okay. He's looking real bad.
He's looking pretty fucked up, to be honest.
He's on the ground though, right? Yeah. So isn't
Yeah.
that also? Is it double disadvantage? Does that work? Is that
Nope.
is that a
Well, it's
thing?
not. Okay. I'm going to I think I'm gonna do. So does radiant damage do extra damage to these undead, or were we just saying it's just sunlight?
You have no idea.
Well, we should, because Urt just used it twice.
Yeah, I
With
just
the
used
black
no,
holy flame.
The flame,
And with-
you noticed, did significantly more damage.
Well, did you include that
Mm-hmm.
to the damage?
I
What
think
about
he
the
said-
radiant?
That-
Radiant did not. The flame, though,
The flame did,
um,
but the radiant didn't.
sort of. So, yes and no. On his turn, you'll see one thing, and I'll tell you. But the flame has now prevented that thing from happening. So,
Okay. All right. Well,
I'll tell
Yes.
you actually, because it doesn't really matter. But his, you had noticed that when the flames hit him, that his body began to regenerate, and the flames had stopped it.
Hmm.
so the okay,
I have a purpose.
the flames though.
The flame stopped the regeneration.
Yep.
Interesting. You don't like fire. Wait, is it a special fire or is it just fire?
Special fire.
Oh, okay.
Special fire.
Can I roll an Arcana check to know exactly how that worked? Because if it was guiding bolt or if it was, because Black and Holy Flame says necrotic or radiant, but I'm pretty sure we picked the radiant.
Mhm.
One,
Yeah, we did.
right?
Yeah, you can roll Arcana.
Okay.
Is it raining again?
Is it raining again? Oh, nat 20 plus 8.
A number of
fuck
nat
was
It's a
20s.
nat 20. I used it on a Arcana check. Hurts my heart.
You already knew the answer, which is so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Hurts
radiant
me.
is that radiant is what does it. It stops his regeneration. So, doesn't do extra damage. It stops his regeneration.
Stop him. All right.
There's two functions of things that happen. It would have happened on the divine smite as well too, but because he had the flaming thing, it wouldn't matter. Any sort of damage that
Yeah.
hits him. If he takes 1 point of radiant damage, it stops his regeneration.
Okay.
So yes,
yeah,
his divine
I'm gonna
smite
hit.
also hurt him, but it didn't change how it hurt him. It just stopped his regeneration ability.
All right, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna use the guiding bolt to, like, Iron Man chest beam him, and I can't use that one again. That's not gonna work. So I'll try to hit him with a chest beam, and what is this? Plus 6, 18 to hit.
18 does hit.
Oh, good. 4d6 for yeah. On a hit, takes 4d6 radiant damage. So we've got 6, 7. So we've got a 15 damage. 15 radiant damage.
15 radiant damage.
15 radiant damage.
You notice that he turns into a cloud of smoke and disappears. Okay.
Even with the grapple?
Mm-hmm.
And prone.
The boots.
You
Are the boots gone?
grab him. The boots are still on his body, presumably. And his body, once hits 0, turns into a cloud of smoke. You notice that cloud of smoke begins to travel towards the back, towards Raven. Raven, you definitely feel it. You can only move certain speeds, but know that cloud of smoke, there's something in the back that he goes. Properties of vampires, baby.
Okay. As a bonus action, Show is on the ground also.
Yeah, so Show, as you're grabbing this thing, you feel that his body becomes like ethereal, basically, and you just like hold through smoke that just now like engulfs your body.
He's getting away.
Show, do you still have drop near?
Yeah.
Gave her some of the. They seem to repel his healing factor. I don't know if it works on all these vampires, but go wild. And gave her the black and holy flame as well. So now Ert and Show have the radiant damage.
Perfect. Next up is Raven. Raven, you feel the presence, a dark entity has encroached your space. Also, Raven,
Yeah.
roll me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma. Okay. Is emboldening bond still active?
I don't think it does. It go with saving throws? Did we decide that? We said
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
15.
15 is barely enough.
Oh, thank goodness. If I move, am I technically leaving combat against an enemy nearby?
You are technically not. He's running away. He's disengaged, so he
Okay.
can't opportunity attack you.
'Cause I don't think I can really do much to deal with him. But
Smoke. Raven, I think you should trail that smoke. We can't let him get out of here.
You say trail it?
Well, you
Find out
wouldn't.
where
I
it's
mean,
going.
Yeah.
yeah, you just feel it like basically like shoot through your body, like Harry Potter one, that Voldemort when he goes through Harry Potter. Um, that's basically how you feel. Like,
Mhm. Is there
A specific example.
is there like thrones
Mhm.
potentially made out of wood or anything?
Yep. So is a table as well that is in this area. Well, it's behind you, but or in front of you. It's behind Jared, but
Because I think Raven's instinct at this moment is be like, he's trying to get over there. I saw that fire was working to some degree against him. I don't fully understand that it's like the radiant, not the fire. So I think he's gonna just chuck a Molotov towards the back of the room and try to
absolutely, I
mess
love
it
it.
up. So I don't know how you want to do the hit for or
It hits
what? Okay, all
right away. Yep.
right. So I do that, and then
You hit right behind that throne, is that what you said?
yeah, I'm basically just trying to catch that area on fire. Like if I notice that the throne itself has made of wood or has flammable properties to it.
Yeah, it for sure does.
And then I'm uh, a little. That's now my second experience with like entities just kind of floating around me, and I'm like, I'm kind of done with this, and I'm just gonna go sit in the sun.
Good. Good. You walk through the charred remains as the crow has like melted in his body, like his plate armor that he's been rocking remains, but the rest of his body has like begun to like morph down into the ground. Um, all over dust. Imagine Avengers Endgame, except for his armor stays. Raven, that's it. Viking's turn next. He begins to leave here, um, but the fire is in his way, so um, he is stopped in its track. Um, Unfortunately, bah, bah, bah,
Define the term, fortunately. For who?
for you guys, two new people begin to appear. Um,
Oh,
Way up here. Um, and as you guys look to see the fire, like you see through the fire as it's like beginning to bellow, um, you see the real king. He looks exactly like the guy that you had just fought, um, but like older, um, wiser. It looks like all of the pictures that had been taken were from or of Lord Viken, but he is just the like face basically. This guy's an older, more grizzled undead. You can feel darkness begin to like seep through the flames as just his presence alerts um, power in decay. Next to him is his bride, um, the real queen of this place. She is donned with very beautiful red hair, a crown atop her head. She's in a very large ball gown um, as phase 2 has appeared. The flames that you had just put up begins to get swallowed by darkness. Um, the room itself, the lights that have been in here begin to dimmer. Just the sheer presence of this guy. Um, you hear him bellow out, "Now, who dares mock my chambers? I have been resting, and you, cretins, set ablaze my throne room. Viken, where are you?" And he sees Viken's like ethereal status that you guys can't see. He clocks him. Viken, you hear his voice mutter in some other language, but you hear it begin to shout. Viken goes, King Viken, he's weak. think that I chose you as our vessel. I will make short work of these rats. And King Viken and his queen have donned the battlefield.
Great.
Yay!
You guys are like, oh, this is so easy. Like, we're kicking this dude's ass, dude.
Yo, Cap, can you get
Real-
back into
the real
negotiation?
battle. The real battle has begun.
Let the negotiations resume.
Laurel, she immediately hears this voice and bows to him. And then she immediately starts to yell basically at these people, at you guys, that it's y'all's fault, that they were just playing house. And then she is the most scared of anybody. And then she tries to run away. Ert, you get technically an attack of opportunity if you want to hit her as she's trying to leave. Same with you, Raven, even though you're in the sunlight.
Might as well. Ert's pissed. Got his wings back. He's happy at the same time.
I didn't get.
He's pappy.
I didn't get one.
You would have probably
Is that
gotten
Clark?
it directly, yeah. I assumed you're kind of more further away than Ert, but because
Does-
Ert's right at her range actually, so we'll say you attack her too, though. You're right in that area.
Don't have to. It's alright. Well,
Does 17 hit?
17 hits.
Okay.
I got 28. Does that hit?
Yeah, 28 hits.
Okay.
mine's gonna be. Oh, that's a nat 1. I did not hit.
Okay.
I
Just a
did
little
not hit.
far from you. You missed. You missed it.
Yeah,
You
I
can
was like,
resolve.
everybody else is doing it.
I guess resolve Ertz
You-
first since he's closer.
Yeah, Ert, you go first.
I just hit her with 10 damage only. Oh wait, but don't I technically attack twice? Oh, shrimp.
No, not
Not
for
an
this.
opportunity
It's a
attack, no.
reaction.
Aw.
So.
Oh, okay.
So 10 damage. Raven,
I
you're
hit-
using your candy cane shiv too.
Yes. So 8 damage and then has to make the saving throw.
So yeah, she passes.
Okay. Worth a shot.
It was worth a shot. Yep. But she runs away, and then gets towards this area right here and begins to cower.
He has a big old gash in her back now.
She does. Jared, you're up.
Well, I guess I'll take care of the dog.
Gonna pet the dog.
You may not.
Okay.
Pet that
'Cause
dog.
I'm gonna holy word the dog. I'm gonna use a holy word against her. Tell her to sit. Maybe if this hits. Oh, it hits.
Need somebody to holy heal me is what I need.
Maybe later.
Yeah,
I'll get you next
that
turn.
hit. Is that a nat
It-
20 or was it a 19?
No, it was a 19 plus 8. It was so close, but
Yeah, 2d8 of radiant damage.
that is 11.
11 is enough to kill her. So
Turn your flashlight off.
you
I was
do
trying to find
that.
my dice.
Get that out of here.
and she dies.
Hooray!
Now you can definitely not pet the dog.
I can't pet that dog.
Jared, is there anything else for you?
You still have a ghost sword. I don't know how helpful it is against. I don't know how
There
useful it is.
really isn't anybody within range for it outside of
Yeah.
you could be able to move, but I mean you could go try to hit Laurel, but she's not the only one.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. Go move it over and poke her.
Poker face.
Nice.
Poker face. Mama.
Okay.
Eh, that's a nat 1.
Blessed.
It misses.
That's it.
All right. Show, you're now up because Crow and Valera are dead.
Shell walks into the middle of the sunlight. And he puts his hands together and he says, "Welcome! You must be the mama and the papa. We've been waiting for you." Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Your son didn't put up much of a fight, which we were expecting. We've been waiting for you this whole time. Now, can we let the negotiations begin, or are you gonna make us keep on jerking around like this?
A rat thinks he has any say in the matter. What is it that you desire, rat?
Well, I was gonna, potentially think about joining and helping you out. Your hospitality's not been great, though. I'm gonna be honest. I'll admit, my magic man, he got a little bit big for his britches. So, I think we can just wipe this as clean slate. So, what do you say? Are you looking in a need of maybe somebody who could help take out some of your enemies?
Go ahead and roll a persuasion. I will say he's very upset, so the DC is a little higher.
It's a, do I have it in boldening bond still?
You should.
So that's 12 plus 4 plus 2, so, 18.
18 is exactly what you need to beat to get it. That's insane. You see him.
golden god.
That's crazy.
The mileage, though.
I was like, it's an 18, so that's so funny. Gosh, dang it. Sorry. King Viking, he laughs and he says, "A rat thinks they can join our team. Well, I'm sure you're better than our useless pile of bones that calls himself my son." And then you hear sounds in a different language from Prince Viking. And then Lord Viking, King Viking, it's kind of confusing, I know, I'm sorry, but King Viking, he goes and says, "Silence." And then you hear that noise just completely stop throughout the area. You see King Viking extinguishes the flame as he walks gallivanting into this area. As you go, you see literal shadows just like basically are like crawling at his feet as he enters the room and sits on his throne. He gestures to his queen. He very like in love with this woman, like classic, like holding her hand as she's like sits down, like gestures that she's like the apple of his eye. You could definitely feel that he loves this person dearly. From what little love he would know. And then he sits down and, well, rat, you have my attention.
Well. We might want to, think about who we're calling rats here, considering we just put your son on a silver platter there, really. But
Son.
my name
He
is
starts.
Shonen Gold.
Yeah. You say that, and he laughs at the whole son thing, and he says, "Son, he's just a shell, a body. He means nothing to me." And then he says, "But Shonen, gold, is it?"
That's right. Well, I come here to offer a deal. Elysium ain't been too contests. We have our ways to get inside, though. That's where we were all born and raised. Well, I was, not the rest of them necessarily. But we can get inside. So how would you feel if we assassinated the King of Elysium for you?
A bold thing to do. I like your gumption, boy.
So you would be interested then?
He has been a nuisance for years. Him and his lot. Fine. Is that all you wish? Is to kill a king who's old and decrepit who'll die of old age soon?
Yeah, I would. Really, I fancy myself maybe killing lots of kings. So, if we have ourselves a deal, I'll take your son's boots then. Or your shell's boots. And we'll be on our way. That'll be our down payment.
As the apparitions like begins to try to like sneak away, you see the king just like reach out his hand and grab the essentially the feet of him and shove them off and toss them at the ground. Um, and then he says, "But no, Mr. Gold, those who double cross me will rue my vengeance for years to come. I will always outlive you."
Oh, I'm just a pathetic little human. Surely I'm just a blip in your life. But I'll be taking these, thank you. And one dead king coming up.
Do well to hold your promise. Now be gone out of my sight. You've done enough damage here.
Sho grabs the boots and he heads on out, I guess.
You can sleep. The rest of you guys follow suit, or
I don't see why I wouldn't.
I'm not
But,
gonna argue.
Yeah.
Is there still the big ass broken table?
Mhm.
On the way out, Tydox is gonna use the tinkering hammer to just flip it up and repair the table. And nod. You're like, all right. Move
Raven
along.
sees
Just
this
like,
gesture.
well, we did fuck up your table. I'm sorry. Can't reach the ceiling, or else I would have fixed it. But
Raven sees his gesture and takes out one of like the nicer bottles that he got from what's his face, the elf dude. Yeah,
Jacques.
Jacques, yes, thank you. So many French names to remember. And then just sets it on the table and follows Tydex out.
Sweet. All right, and then you guys, are ushered out of the throne room with honestly your lives intact. Some of you are injured and hurt, but you guys walk out. As you guys walk out, you hear a clustering of people are like putting out a fire in the side. You see the smoke is like layered through. Thing. It's probably this is a great time to just kind of like walk out of here and kind of gesture out. I mean, the way out is not really like. I mean, it's kind of like a labyrinth of places, but you can feel your way out of the castle, certainly. If you choose, if you guys want to have a little role play moment too while you're walking, certainly.
I love that we eliminated everyone who knew that we were the ones who started Simpler.
Yeah.
yes, we did.
Get rid of all the evidence. Sho would be quiet as he's like, just get the fuck out of here. Like,
I am gonna like shoulder up to
Head
Sho,
dodge.
shoulder up to him and be like, "Hey, so about those boots, you don't have any use for them, right? I can hold on to them."
I already
for us."
got my own boots, and he gives them to Raven.
And I immediately, I imagine the boots that I have on are just like like they're peeling, they're just shagged and ripped up, and so I am swapping on these new pair
You
of boots.
you put these boots on, um, and unfortunately, the magic that you have felt, throughout the whole thing, has run its course. Basically, same with the horn, the shield, the things that you got. All these magic items, they feel as though as you put them on, they don't work the exact same as they would if you had put them on, or if like the other people that were using them or had them. So you put these on, they feel like regular black boots.
I
But you got
imagine
them
that
on.
I'm like now kind of just as we're like prancing through the hallway, I'm like trying to like clap or like jump
Try to
up and
figure
do
out how to turn it
heel
up.
So
clicks.
are they the relic then or not?
They are the relic. Yep.
Okay.
So when he puts them on, that's how he knows that they're the relic. That's your
Okay.
confirmation with putting them on. So just like the horn and the shield, that when you guys put them in your possession, that they don't work.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like he debated us, and then I was like, gonna have to go back and kick his ass.
Okay,
Well, we did get some wings out of it. But yeah, we'll go back.
It's true. Cap Merch's like, look at my wing. I can fly. Cap Merch is kind of like floating about.
I'm a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah, you still can only fly for not that long too, because remember it's like once per long rest when you have these wings on. So as you had flown up to like make the attack and do the thing, you're like flittering around and you immediately crash to the ground as your wings are not ready for you to really like fly. So you're like dancing and like, oh dude, this is sick. I'm up in the air. You crash to the ground as you're going back down to the floor, and your wings are like basically not being able to like charge back up to like fly again.
Don't worry, you and Moro can learn to fly together. It'll
Yeah.
it'll take some practice.
Oh yeah,
As
brother.
you just speak about Moro, Moro comes crashing through like some of the dining room, and like you see he's kind of a little bit bigger than the last we've seen, as he has been eating just food that
Random
had
people.
been there. He'd missed most of the fight because he was just like gouging out. So he's like kind of like hunkering through the thing as he's like a little bit bigger now. And so he's like, trying to crawl. He sees you and he comes up to you with Susan, the Owlin, as well, who has come with.
And then did did Susan stay in with her artifacts then, or was she like in the back?
She had followed Moro wherever he was going.
Oh,
to
okay,
keep him
okay.
safe. So she is with Moro.
Okay.
So she had been with
So
him the
they're
whole
back.
time. So they're back. They're now back with you guys.
I imagine them coming out like they got like bread. They're just eating. They're like, we're good. I have potatoes.
Yeah. Hey,
Like, oh, you
Did you
guys
guys
totally
see this?
forgot about us.
Yeah.
We're here.
like, hey, did you guys see this beautiful buffet they have over here? Where we
Yeah.
guys at anyway?
Yeah, they were cooking a feast. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susan comes out and she says, "Food, food," and starts to hand you guys like bread and, yeah, various meats. I will tell you.
Interesting.
So meats and bread is what she hands you guys. But yeah, you guys start to head out of the thing. You're ushered basically out of the thing. You guys walk out of the hold on.
Yes. Oh, hey.
I'm gonna change the music.
Love you, brother. And so you guys walk out of the front of the cathedral. I mean, honestly, getting out was like the easiest thing in the world. It felt like there was like really no guards who were like running, because everyone was kind of tending to the fire and trying to figure out what was going on. And so you guys have walked out into the thing, into the open city of Mycelium. As you guys walk out, the city itself is beautiful. However, much like the other city, especially because the last city you really were in was Andrea, it was so beautiful architecturally wise. Like this city itself looks as though most of the like building is like the castle, and then the city itself is like, imagine like really low, like stone buildings, like hay on top of the roof. Like the outer, part of the the castle is very like low key, like and there's not very many like there's people around in mycelium, especially for it to be like a big major city, you know, like the second biggest kingdom, human kingdom. The people all that you see are like terrified. They're like, whatever you had just done in the castle, they want no part of you, or they're like, shying away from you guys as you guys are like kind of walking, um, through the city. Everybody that you like see, they like shut their doors, shut the shutters. Any association with the king and the castle and anything in the castle is like shunned to them. Um, so that's the vibe you're getting as you're kind of like walking through this. Um, it's tough to call it a city. I'll be honest. More like a village. Most of the people that were there are in the castle. I'm not sure if you guys have
Um,
seen Castlevania, but that's the vibe.
the vibes, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's what I was getting. That's where I was pulling my vampire lore from.
Yeah.
Um, um, Shell's like just kind of hurriedly walking through. He's like, I don't know about you boys, but I think we need to get the hell out of here. I was like, I don't know how the hell we pulled that off, to be honest. So let's not look a gift horse in the mouth and let's keep moving, I think.
It's definitely agree. There's nothing more really to be had here. Ert,
Time to skedaddle.
Ert, can you let Squirt know?
Way ahead of you. Squeak.
Yeah.
He gives it a little.
that little squistle.
It's ridiculous.
Don't like that.
Are like walking. You blow the whistle. You walk. You see that there's like a bay towards your south side. Um, as you get close to that, Squirt does appear, and just like he has been, he's a little bit bigger too. As you guys have seen him now, since it's been a couple weeks. I think it's been like if I got the math right, I think 5 days, so not really a full week, but um, you guys see Squirt pull up, and he's like, "Yo, what's up?" Actually, he speaks. You speak dragon
I
now.
was
So,
like, Squirt.
he
Yo,
pulls
I
up.
go, Squirt, I'd like you to meet Moro. He's our new dragon friend. I hope you guys will get along good.
Instantly, just like tension, as they like stare at each other, like like, yo, what the fuck, like there's a Key and
No.
Peele skit that's like these white people in a cappella group, and then Key and Peele, they join it,
Pentatonics.
and they join it, and they're like, yo man, what the fuck's up, like these are my white people, and that's the vibe you get from
Yeah.
they looking at each other like, yo, what the fuck, these are my people, like I'm supposed to be with them, I'm their dragon, like what the, we don't need to. And then they have this like internal dialogue with him that both you feel the tension in the air, for it's like this weird like, yo, what's up dog, like
Mhm.
what are you doing here? But Ert is bigger than Moro, way bigger, probably like 4 or 5 times as big as him. And so he looks at Moro like, yo brother, and Moro's like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? uh, and that
That's Squirt. We just told you. You need to pay a little bit better attention. Susan, can you please give some meat to Squirt and to Moro? Let's get him calmed down here a little bit.
yeah, and he Susan says, she goes, flesh, and then hands it to Squirt.
Now, there's plenty of all of us to go around. You guys don't need to fight. Now, Squirt, we've been through some trying times, so I think we need to skedaddle. So let's maybe get on out if you're feeling okay.
Yeah, Squirt's ready to go. He's kind of chipper at this point to let him know, like, hey, yo, what the fuck's up? These are my people, So he's like, Absolutely, I'll do whatever for you guys. Um, you just get on towards the south. Is actually where you guys would have like ended up on this
Okay.
area. Which direction are you guys wanting to go? Um,
Um. Oh, we're so fucked.
Yep. Let's go into this corner that we're not supposed to be in a corner.
I'm to
I
go
will
kill a cat.
say some of the if you guys want to somebody roll a history
Fuck
give you some
yeah.
on some
I've
stuff.
been waiting for this moment.
Okay. So we've got a 29.
29. Okay, so you remember quite a bit of this
18
area.
plus 11.
Uh, that's insane. So you
Plus 11.
remember Gorzarad is an orc chieftain like area. And you remember the orcs are really fucking terrible. They're like cannibals. They'll kill and murder pretty much anybody on sight. Um, you remember in your history texts and things, just like trying to figure out the area. The Dread Bay is like filled with pirates. That it's any man that is there to steal, kill, and plunder. It's kind of where all the outlaws and you know, it's actually Darknall, if you remember him. He had mentioned a
Okay.
lot of that area, um, and like being familiar, and that's kind of like his desire was to go to the Dread Bay. And you've heard rumors that like in the Dread Bay lives a pirate king. Darknall had mentioned him before that this pirate king is a hoarder of treasures, and likely that's a spot that um, would be a good resource to go and either bargain to try to find more information on the magic items. He may also have a magic item, but finding the pirate king um, is like a death sentence. Like trying to figure out that way. Not having like a pirate who would kind of navigate the area with the 20. I mean, you learn a lot. So I'm going to give you a bunch of lore here. So
We love the
um,
lore.
the Dreadberry like is known for just like thievery and pirates and chaos. The only one who rules the seas are those who are strong enough to will it into existence, to control that area. Gorzarad, like I said, is um, like the orc capital. It's like the no man's land. No one really owns that land. It's like a marshy, really terrible like swamp. It's like a bog. It's called the Quagmire. Is that region? And so it there's been rumors, all sorts of cannibals and gross, disgusting things that are there. To the east of kind of where you're at is the Emerald Cove. It's known for um, like slave trades, um, and more for like um, think of like Prince of Persia, like that kind of like Colosseum, slay like there's like fighting pits, like um, in that area that are like people like will capture people and force them to fight each other. Gladiators are known for that area, and it all kind of leads into the barren waste, which uh, especially for someone like you, has learned that like is just pure desert. It's hot and dry, and it feels endless. Um, but there's tribal people who would live within that area who have been very attuned to magic. Of what about magic in this world, they would be a good resource for you. So there's definitely some options of places to go along the south, southeast, and southwest. The north, you remember Mycelium is south of Mount Ignis, which was a place that you guys could have went to beforehand, but from the other side. Um, this side, if you were to go north, would be like going through, you know, fiery waters, waters that are like on fire. Yeah, Mount Doom. Like, um, you would assume too that that Squirt would have a really hard time like going up north and going through the fires. His skin though, um, would make him an applicable like match to go through the molten sea because he's like flame resistant. Um, but he'd have a really hard time like making it the whole way. It's possible, but you also remember the Crimson Woods being the place with the you know life-size crows that were murderous and mimicked your voices. So there's options of places to go. Northeast leads you back to the Strait of Scylla, which is known for heavy monsters in that area who to make it through that strait in and of itself. The only reason that Mycelium and Elysium haven't like fully killed each other is because that strait is full of monsters and it's basically kind of like a they have to kind of figure out a different way, a different path to kind of kill each other, and that's why their war has been more of like a stalemate than and sending missions into people instead of really like full battlefields because they're two islands, so they're really fighting on the navy. But passing straight through the Strait of Scylla usually is certain death. You got a lot with 28, so that's probably
Yeah.
probably it.
We love
Basically,
certain
the
death.
whole entire world.
I would be communicating all such things,
Mhm.
so I don't have to say it all over again.
No, you need to do it in
And-
character. I need to hear it all again.
Yeah. I'll take some notes. But I would definitely leave it up to the captain. I'd also remind that I do remember that Darknell saying a couple times that he knew that the Pirate King at least had some more information. But I don't think bartering with the pirate to kill their archenemy the same way we just did here would work out well for us.
I could be a pirate if I wanted to. And so I assume like Squirt's like kind of like just starting to go out just in like a general direction of away from mycelium.
Yeah,
And
he's kind of wading into the water.
Trying to find the slipstream.
yeah, and as Tridox is relaying that to all of us, Show just starts to scream, I think, into the air. And
Nope.
and um and then he's like, so what are our notes? So we have Doc Nell's telling us about the Pirate King. Where's that map we found in the Drado Cave? And Shell's just like, we're just so fucked down here.
Let me see if I can pull up that.
I do have some interest in going to the desert. Found something
What's in the
interesting.
desert for you?
Read something interesting in one of those books I found in the library.
Mm.
Looking for some sort of rare beetle. Granted,
Beetle.
desert's a big place. Who knows how easy it is to find a rare beetle in the with that much sand.
Probably pretty hard, but we've done a lot of hard shit, so I wouldn't put it past.
Yeah.
That said, a lot of the patrons at the bar, they always brag about, being to the Cutthroat Isles. So I wouldn't mind going for a pirate adventure. I don't know how
Pirate
many of them are
adventure.
bluffing, but
So let me go back to my notes really quick.
this page does not exist.
404. Fatality.
Oops, onto the map.
Damn. Damn.
Please hold.
Holding.
Load. Holy diver, the page you're looking for doesn't exist.
And muted.
Okay. Okay.
You would remember that the Cutthroat Isles too is just like think of Tortuga from like it's just like a known like raw island. It wouldn't necessarily be like the home of the pirate team, but you would know that it's like the land of pirates, and you know any of those people, and there could have been patrons, certainly Raven, who had been there. Any of those people were fucking terrible individuals. So you know, if they were saying that they were drunk and swashed and like you could tell instantly like, oh, these guys are like not good people.
Hmm. So Raven has some interest in going to the desert. Jared, you got any interest in going somewhere specific?
Mm. Be honest, the desert. Not a very big fan of sand.
Of course, it
Yeah,
gets
getting.
everywhere.
Gets between my feet, between my toes. If I was given the choice, no, I would prefer none of them. But since we have to pick one of them, I would go with, I suppose, the Isles.
So Isles. Okay. Bert, you just got your wings back. How you feeling?
Fly.
What'd you say?
I can fly. I
Not
believe
too-
I can fly.
Not too good, it doesn't look like. So you
Yeah,
might want
but
to
we're working
practice.
on it. Cameron's just practicing in the corner, just like, with this little dragon. Like Cameron probably looks like Dragonite right now with little tiny wings, big old
Hey,
body.
your wings are you're like trying to like get them to like flap, but if they look like they need to like recharge or whatever, like they're like stuck kind of like, you know, it's very hard to like really move them. It's like they haven't been moved. Like imagine being rusted, but they're not obviously rusted, but just imagine that kind of feeling of like needing WD-40 on something where you're like, oh, these things are squeaky, you know.
Squeak, squeak. I say let's go be some pirates. It's been a while. Let loose.
Been a while since you've been a pirate? What are you talking about, man? What the fuck?
Those wings
To
make you
the
drunk.
straight.
We've seen this episode before. It's titled "Read Your Backstory." Motherfucker.
I don't know how you fucking conned King Leonard to let you in. I'm just fucking.
Honestly, I think he just makes up
Unbelievable.
most of his backstory.
Yeah, right.
On the
Just
spot.
like,
And I just have to be like, what?
Just a big old episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Whose backstory
What did he
is this
say?
anyway? I'm gonna get the most desirable thing that you could possibly want. Down from the chains. Here you go. Silver platter. Can I run over there and smack him with this sword? What?
Like,
Oh, what did he say?
Okay.
I worked very hard to get those for you. There's one
Yeah,
down
it was a
here left.
great scene. And then he's like, it's not even like he was at the other end. He was like next. And he's like,
Um,
And scene.
Show's just like, Captain, I don't believe you for a goddamn second. So,
practically,
Tada.
well, I, from the practical standpoint, we are close enough to at least inquire, but no one really goes to see the Pirate King and then goes, gets out. However, we did just, go see King Aiken and walk out. So I guess there's no real precedent for what we have done thus far. So if we're here, maybe we circle through the Dead Bay and see what directions the Pirate King can give us, and then maybe swing on through the desert. I hear the desert does have a closer tie to some magic things that I would really be interested in. But from a pragmatic standpoint, we are very close to the pirate who is supposedly carrying more of these relics that we need.
You know, I'm gonna be real honest with you boys. I'm gonna override you, and I think we're gonna need to go to the desert. We barely made it out with the skin of our teeth in that one. I had to do so much lying and so much bartering. And I just,
Not necessarily you lied, Captain. You were very honest with them. Played our hand,
yeah,
and then, you know, we
At the end
we
of the
came out
day,
with the wings.
they suffered the consequences, and you know, our beef wasn't with the mom and dad, so
they didn't kill the king though. We're we're so still out of our depths here. We are no closer to getting out of this than before. We're one relic closer, and we're one step back from knowing who actually did this. And once again, here we are, playing errand boy at the end of somebody else's chain, and I am still tired.
it sounds like you need a drink and a rest,
Yeah, I think you're right, Raven.
like a really long rest.
Love it. As you guys begin to wade out into the water even further, you definitely start to notice that in the Dread Bay, just as it's aptly named, the Dread Pirates begin to circle this area. Out in the distance, you do notice ships chasing each other. You hear bombshells, cannon fire as things are going crazy. It looks the Wild West, but out in sea, as seafaring combat has begun to take place. You can kind of begin to see some like islandy areas off to the south, as like you would need to kind of cut through towards the cutthroat isles to kind of get back to the desert. So you'd have to pass them anyways to get there. But as far as like refuge or rest, um, as nice as it sounds, um, in the middle of the sea, in the dangers of open water, um, the idea feels almost impossible, as you kind of realize why it's called the Dread Bay. As you guys continue to let Squirt push you guys further and further. I don't want that to change like the way you like talk or think about it, but the feeling of dread, the feeling of death, the feeling of dude, you guys just like barely escaped a, 200-year-old vampire who, has scared the townsfolk so much that even people who are associated with him are shunned away. And you guys have lived a lot of life in the last like, few days, hours, even the last few minutes. And as you guys sink into the sea, wade out into its open waters, um, the reality of your mission has really set in. Um, this mission was never meant to be easy. Um, the ideas of this king, these answers that seem to continue on and on and on and on, that no one seems to have the answers that you're looking for. Why are you sent on this goose chase to find all these things? As the time continues to pass, I think that's where we'll end it tonight. With the feeling of dread and sorrow. Um, so thank you guys so much for joining us today, on a little bit of a shorter episode, but still good. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.